So, Geekdom101 podcast episode 20 was the Avengers Endgame deep dive talk with Brandon Draven. This was part 4 of a 4-part series on the podcast where we discuss MCU Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, building up to our viewing of Endgame. And I did do lots of videos on Endgame when it came out on World of Geekdom, and I also did this really beefy podcast with Brandon Draven, and this is a spoiler-filled podcast, which of course you should know because the movie's old now, but it's about 2 hours long, talking about all the good and bad of the grand finale of the Infinity Saga. Original air date was May 2nd, 2019, so just a few days or so after the movie came out. We saw it, we were all hyped for it, and I can honestly tell you that Avengers Endgame will be a moment in cinema history that many generations down the road who didn't get to experience Phase 3 of the MCU, it's like our generation that missed experiencing, Star Wars 77. We were too young for that. You know what I mean? It sucks, but we got this, and it's a pretty good time period. So without any further ado, let's get to Geekdom 101 podcast episode 20. And welcome back to the Geekdom 101 podcast. And before we go any further, I just want to say that we are going to be discussing Avengers Endgame, and I probably said this in the previous section of this podcast. I haven't recorded that part yet, but we are going to talk spoilers, okay? So I implore you, if you have not seen the film, you need to go out and watch Avengers Endgame. Find yourself a showing sometime in the next few days, and then come back and download this episode, because it is a movie that you don't want to go in with spoilers. You don't want to know. You want to know as little as possible. And unfortunately, there's assholes on the internet who are making it an effort to spoil the film. I've seen on Instagram people posting clips. I've seen people posting clips on Twitter replies. And I can't tell you to get off social media because you probably found this show through social media, I would hope. But I'm just letting you know, please avoid spoilers. Then come back and chill with us as we discuss Avengers Endgame. Joining me, here we go, by the way, folks. We're going to start with a spoiler. Joining me on this podcast, if you've been listening to the last few episodes, our Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 retrospectives, he is back with more beer than Thor has in New Asgard, Brandon Draven.
Brother, when Wolverine showed up, I popped.
I popped more when the Dark Phoenix showed up, bro.
In the trailer?
And then she said, this is going to be better than my movie.
Well, I think she's legitimately said that, the actress. I think everybody has said that.
That's a bad omen, bro. I'm getting Fantastic Four vibes from that, and that's not good. When the actors start burying the movie, bro. See, we should have known. We should have listened to Mark Hamill, bro. Here we go. Last Jedi burial in 3, 2, 1. We should have listened to Mark Hamill. He tried to warn us, bro.
Jessica Chastain, who's a pretty good actress. I think she's the lead villain in Dark. No, she's not. Yeah,
she's one of the aliens. I think from the Shi'ar Empire. The lead villain is fucking the Game of Thrones chick who plays Jean Grey, whatever her name is.
Well, she's actually being manipulated, from what I get from the trailers, by this broad here.
Yeah.
And Jessica Chastain went on record as saying this was her worst experience making a movie in her life. And as we know, this movie has been, filled with many barriers, and production things have gone wrong. So I don't know, man. Maybe they just pieced it all together. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man.
This is the last one under the
Fox umbrella. Yeah, that's it.
Fox umbrella.
So in 2019, we're gonna have lots of conclusions here. Game of Thrones is over. We've got the end of Phase 3 of the MCU, the end of the Infinity Saga with a conclusive ending. We're gonna talk about that here on this show. We got the X-Men Fox universe is done in July, and we've got the end of Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So big geek culture finales in 2019.
Let me say something about this geek culture first of all, because I gotta get this off my chest. So, everybody's very excited about the Fox Disney merger, right?
Everybody except me, because I made a video saying short-term gain, long-term pain. This could be a problem long-term, which maybe you can come back on the podcast and talk about it in detail at some point. Well, I think you'll agree with me on that.
We're not gonna get too detailed because we'll talk about Avengers, but this is a film podcast, so I will say this. It's actually very, very like a very dangerous thing, because we're just removing another studio that's gonna give us films. That's all this is going on, because now we have one less studio that's going to give us quality films, to the point where Disney's already slashing Fox's film slate in half. That means that a lot of these art films, a lot of these good little horror films, a lot of these films that were budgeted anywhere between $5 and $10 million, these little small films, they're not going to get made anymore. So from an artistic point of view, we're losing some quality films, a lot of quality films, due to the Fox-Disney merger. And Disney has already said they're only interested in franchises or like tentpole movies. That's it. Well, they're not gonna make. They're not gonna make those smaller films that Fox used to make anymore. And then here's another thing.
Well, we have Blumhouse at least, right?
Yeah, but we used to have Blumhouse and Fox. That's my point.
Absolutely, and the thing is,
especially Fox Searchlight, which really focused on those little independent films that really, when you think about it, those are the kind of films to kind of connect this to Avengers that really gave you the story complexity to kind of, you know, stir your emotions like Avengers Endgame did here. And now we're just gonna get these by the numbers, you know, big franchise films that don't necessarily always do that, you know. So I don't know, when that kind of, when I was thinking about that, and it kind of got me sad a little bit, because it is true, with Fox gone, a lot of the classic films, you know, they're not going to get made anymore. A lot of the small films that could have turned into classic films are not going to get made anymore, and that's a shame.
Well, I mean, just to add to what you're saying, and again, we're not going to go too deep into this, but my issue with it is it gives Disney too much power. And, you know, if I go out and I buy a Fox Blu-ray, it's like $15. All Disney Blu-rays are $30, you know, $22. They're way overpriced. And now they're all going to be Disney. And two, even though we are getting cool stuff, like we're going to get X-Men in the MCU versus the Avengers, maybe we're going to get maybe an Episode 4, A New Hope Blu-ray remaster of the original film in 4K maybe, and I wish they got my money on that easily. That's good stuff. All those things are good news. But long term, like you said, it's less movies, less creative direction. They all have to follow that Disney formula. And to their credit, they've done a good job with other franchises, like Miramax is under Disney. But it still feels like they're too empowered. I mean, our boy Quentin Tarantino was very upset when he got pushed out of his own movie theater way back in the day, and for Force Awakens. Disney can push anybody aside now. It's just scary. It's a scary thought to give one studio this much market share.
Yeah, and we're gonna start seeing more of that assembly line Disney way of making movies. And again, a few of them go through the cracks, like this entire MCU. They've been able to produce quality films, but then again, even their films are cookie cutter. Now they're good. They're good films. Don't get me wrong, but they all have a basic structure to them. So there's other ways to tell superhero stories that don't involve the same, you know, origin story, the same, you know, redemption story. But we're not going to get that until somebody comes up and says, okay, well, you know, let's give this guy a chance to tell his story his way. And I don't know how Disney's going to handle that.
Well,
you know?
For Endgame, we got to give credit, and I've done it in my videos over on World of Geekdom. I have both spoiler and non-spoiler reviews up. Got to give credit to Kevin Feige, but also Anthony Russo and Joe Russo. They did a great job with this film. And we got to give credit to Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely for writing this in Infinity War. And we also have more executive producers like James Gunn, who helped out with this film, and a few other people. I think YTT, or whatever his name is, I think he helped out too, the director of Ragnarok. They all kind of pitched in for this film.
John Fav also helped out a lot. He's an executive producer on this film.
John Fav put food on the plate for everybody to eat, bro. And the beautiful thing about this film is it was a big love fest to the MCU, and really a big love fest to Iron Man 1. It really tied everything together. And, you know, I did not cry during the film. I came close. What about you? Tell the truth.
No, I will tell the truth. I got emotional, but I never even came close to crying, because I was just in awe of the storytelling. Right. And I was I was always in my, that's why I got to see it again, because in my head, I was always registering what I had just saw like a couple minutes before. It was just, a lot of it was just so incredible to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. There's a lot of things going on.
And so when the Tony Stark death happened, you know, it was kind of like I hadn't even registered that. Even like when the Natasha death happened, it took me a while to register that. And by the time I did, you know, the lights in the theater were already on and people were talking, so I didn't really get too emotional about that, like as I should have. But it was still a very impactful scene, you know.
Yeah,
And
I got more
especially,
emotional driving home, actually.
there's so many great things about here. One of the things that to kind of piggyback on your point is how many people were so unselfish in making this film. How many people that are, especially the actors who are like, there was a lot of A-listers here, actors that could carry their own film, their own franchises, and some of them do, and some of them do it for this particular
not just that.
MCU.
Great point, but not just that. We also have returning faces who are either A-listers or former A-listers coming in to reprise their roles. Natalie Portman is an A-list actress. She's back. Renee Russo.
Let me break your heart right now. Let me break some news to you, bro. I don't know if you knew this or not, but Natalie Portman's performance was actually from Thor: The Dark World. It was off a deleted scene.
Really? No, I thought she came back to reshoot new scenes.
No. She was okay with it, and she did get paid for that. Because you have to get paid for that, and she was invited to the premiere because
now, fuck that bitch. Then no, go ahead.
No, I don't think they asked her, but she was invited to the premiere, and she was there. She was at the premiere of the movie.
Yeah, which I knew. I knew she'd be in the movie. So, she was there.
So she was okay with it. So maybe the door is open for a return, and maybe the Russo brothers were like, "Look, we got this scene here, and we could just kind of splice it into the movie." That's the reason why she never really had like a face-to-face scene with any of the, not even with Rocket, because Rocket actually came up behind her.
Right. Yes.
She got out of her bed.
Michael Douglas came back.
The unselfish nature of these actors to kind of, some of them didn't have dialogue. Like I don't think Michelle Pfeiffer had any dialogue.
Did Frank Grillo have any?
No, but he's awesome in anything he does, bro.
Bobby Redford, bro.
Yeah, but I'm worried about Bobby Redford, bro. He looked like.
Now they said this is his last movie ever.
He looked like he had a foot in the grave. I'll be honest with you, brother. They couldn't even get this guy to look like he looked in Winter Soldier, and that was only 4 or 5 years ago.
But here's the thing: remember, his scene in this movie takes place before Winter Soldier, which I thought was interesting.
I honestly thought they had CGI'd Ric Flair's promo from his bedroll into that scene. That's how bad fucking Robert Redford looked. Bro.
Don't forget.
He looked old, man.
Well, did he look older than Chris Evans CGI to make him look older at the end of the movie?
No, he didn't. He didn't look that old, but he looked close to it.
They should have given Chris Evans the orange skin, bro, that all the old guys have.
You know who does look like Chris Evans is Clint Eastwood.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that.
They kind of look alike, and I thought, oh shit, they got Clint Eastwood to come in
and
do an old Chris
what?
Evans.
You know what? Clint Eastwood's still alpha, bro, and he still makes alpha movies every year.
Yeah, he does. The Mew was a good
year.
movie. Everyone check out The Mew if they have a chance.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a huge undertaking. We've talked about the Harry Potter franchise in the past, which was also a huge undertaking, and we're not going to take credit away from that because every single actor in that franchise who became big later on all came back to finish, and that was about a 10-year plight, from beginning to end. But this is even bigger because these. I mean, with all due respect to Harry Potter, these were even bigger actors, and here they are not having the limelight for a lot of the movie, and yet they were still great. We didn't hear any scuttlebutt about tension on the set or this, that, or the other thing. It was all about finishing the story that they started, and they did a great job with it. So yeah, this is a great movie.
So, do you want to start at the beginning, or do you want to go jump around? How do you want to do this?
No, we can start at the beginning because there's a lot of things here. I do have some nitpicks that we're going to get to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Also, question. Were you spoiled? Okay, first of all, you got worked. I don't care what anybody says. You got worked. You got lied to. And so did I.
That's good, though.
So did I. Yeah, we both got worked because there was a rumor that Disney was purposely putting out fake leaks. And I find it hard to believe that it's not a true rumor. We heard everything from Captain Marvel kills Thanos, Hulk kills Thanos, Captain America dies after using the hammer, he kills Thanos. We heard that they were going to make copies of the stones, not the original stones. God, there were so many fake rumors here.
Yeah.
Remember the one where there was one where Jeremy Renner tied an Infinity Stone to an arrow and shot Thanos in the heart. Like that happened in the comics, but not to Thanos. And again, like all these different like fake rumors that had gone around. We knew there was going to be time travel because those set photos of them in 2012 leaked like a year ago, so that wasn't even like a surprise. But so much phony baloney BS, bro. Kang the Conqueror, like it was all
one of the ones that was pretty close was the one, and I messaged you this one about 3 weeks ago, and we both laughed at it. Remember we said that Thanos was gonna die within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
That was
Now,
true.
the original rumor. This was the original
Well,
rumor
let me
that
guess. He used the Reality Stone.
No. The original rumor was
That's what
that
I thought.
he had accomplished his mission, which was in the film.
Yes.
And then he committed suicide because he was in such bliss that there was nothing else to do. And this all happened within the first 10 minutes of the film. The Avengers find him, as was in the film, and he commits suicide in front of them. So now they have to go back in time, essentially following the same plot, because now he hid the stones and he committed suicide. Now this is where it gets wacky. So after he committed suicide, he's up there with Lady Death, and he sees what the Avengers are doing, and he gets pissed off because they're gonna undo everything he did. So he decides to come back and stop them. That was the.
I was gonna say there was actually another one like there was actually another rumor like that where Thor was gonna go to hell to get the hammer and meet his sister in hell, because Hela's in hell now with Surfer and all the Asgardians. He was gonna go to hell and get the hammer from hell, and they were gonna have Odin there. None of that happened in the movie, but those were some cool ideas that the fans had.
Yeah, but that's a nice little story for like an individual character like Thor, one of those guys. But they were pretty close though. Some of these rumors, although none of them hit the mark, I could see where there was as I'm watching this film, there was a little bit of shred to the stories, to the rumors.
Yeah, like Tony making his own gauntlet. That actually was talked about for a year, and it leaked like 2 weeks ago that there's a toy coming out of the Iron Gauntlet.
Yes. So let me get to some of the nitpicks, and then we'll get started here, because I want to get your opinion on them.
Okay, so you want to do nitpicks now? All right.
Yes. Fine. Okay. Because a lot of them are in the beginning of the film.
Okay. I actually think some of them are later in the film, but go for it.
Okay. So the first thing is, and
by the way, before anybody starts complaining, we both liked the movie. We gave it very high reviews.
Yeah,
this is just small stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. This is an incredible movie. I mean, it left me emotionally drained.
Yeah.
It
did.
And it's like I gotta get ready for Game of Thrones on Sunday, so that's
the biggest
double
battle in TV history or whatever, right?
That's gonna something like that, and it's gonna be great. And a lot of our favorite characters there are probably not gonna come out of that episode. So I felt like they had built up the Tony Captain America thing way too much, and I didn't feel like they really had that closure.
Agreed. They didn't have that big handshake moment like we thought they were gonna have.
But then again, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about it like how the Russos were writing this, and how everything's based on how a person would really react. And sometimes in life we don't get that closure. Sometimes in life we have enemies, or we have people that used to be our friends that we have a misunderstanding. We see them again after a few years, and a quick handshake, and within that handshake everything is resolved. You don't have to have these big dramatic cinematic moments for everything to be squashed, right? And I felt like taking that into consideration, and knowing Tony's character and Captain America's character, they both are very prideful guys, and I don't see them kind of having that man to man like we wanted, right? So I was okay with that as I was thinking about it and reflecting on it.
But I did like how early in the film he was really angry still at Cap, like he was still kind of berating him for the mistakes that Cap made in the past.
But that was also him projecting his own mistakes.
That's right.
Cap.
Yeah, like Ultron, which was brought up by him. Yeah, they both made mistakes.
So again, everything got paid off in this film beautifully. Everything, all the characters and who they were as people got paid off, because
the main six Avengers all got arcs. I said that in my review. They all got arcs.
Because at the end of the day, Tony Stark did start off as a very selfish character. He started off as, and even the reason he became Tony Stark was for selfish reasons. Even he didn't really start to realize how selfish he was into Iron Man 3 when he understands that he himself is Iron Man. He doesn't need the suit. So that was his storyline, right? It was like everything he did because of his ego and because of who he wanted to be, and because ultimately he wanted to be accepted by his dad.
As it happens to so many people, not only did he end up meeting his dad, which that doesn't happen to people in real life, but he had a family, and when you have a family, it changes you, changes who you are. So,
right, and that's when he ended up making the ultimate sacrifice, and of course with Captain America, it was all about going back and meeting the girl he loves and spending the rest of his life with her.
I predicted that would be the ending for his character like 3 weeks ago. I said that he was going to go back in time and go with Pepper, because when they introduced time travel, it's like, okay, they're going to put Cap back, and that's exactly what they did. But there was a problem with that involving the time travel rules, which we're going to get to here in a minute. But I did want to say though that that nitpick, it is a nitpick, but I think it worked out in the end.
I was okay with it, but I wish they would have had more of a man-to-man. But again, going back to their characters, I could see it. They sold me on it, also, so it was okay.
Also, interestingly enough, the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel was not in this film as we had originally thought. It was actually before the film took place, because when she rescues Tony early in the movie, it was after she had already regrouped with the Avengers.
And that's good, because I don't need no retreads. We've already seen that. I like that a lot, and I was very happy they kept it out. This movie was already 3 hours long as it was. And then another thing too is so we talked about the little breadcrumbs that Infinity War set up for us, and like I said, the Captain Tony thing kind of making up, but also the Incredible Hulk finally turning. We didn't get that either.
Did it bother you, in your opinion? Did it bother you that we did not see the origin of Professor Hulk? Because it did not bother me at first, but I would have liked to have seen it.
It did bother me, and it also bothered me that we never saw the Incredible Hulk kind of hulking up and getting crazy. We never really saw that either.
And we never saw him fight Thanos again, at least for a little while.
Because the thing about one of my issues with the final battle, which was incredible by the way, but it did have a lot of problems, is that the Hulk completely disappears because he gets his
arm gets injured.
Yeah, he gets injured, and then Giant Man pulls him out of the rubble. And then that's it. Once Giant Man pulls him out of the rubble, he's kind of not seen anymore.
Yeah, he's seen in that big panning shot of all the Avengers, but we don't really see him do that much cool stuff. Yeah, he's not.
And he's the Hulk, bro. He should have been over there smashing stuff and getting crazy. But I guess I'm not. I don't know much about comics, so admittedly, so I don't know. Maybe Professor Hulk is like a peaceful guy. I don't know. I don't really know.
He is a peaceful guy, but he's still very powerful. But again, we'll talk about this at the end. But I am curious about where they take that character now. Because now we have a lot of things going on with that character.
Yeah, well, they set up a lot of stuff. They set up a lot of
Disney Plus shows as well, which we're going to get to also later on here. Remind me to get back to that. Okay, so my nitpick, I'm going to go with one here.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this more later if you want, but we can just get it out of the way now. The time travel rules were very strange because they changed the rules midway through the movie. Hulk had a presumption about something, and then Ancient One kind of explained to him, which I love that interaction, by the way. Ancient One explained how the time travel rules work, where if you make a change, it creates a divergent timeline, which that's essentially the multiverse theory. That actually does make sense. Dragon Ball used something very similar to where, you can't affect the future by going to the past, but you can create a split timeline. Great. Then how the hell is Captain America from the same timeline going to be an old man? That is a plot hole. You can't argue it's not. You can't. They're using two different time travel paradoxes here. And if he went back in time to be with Peggy, that would have created an extra timeline where he's in that timeline. You can't have old man Cap in the same timeline with regular Captain America doing all the things he did in the other films. Because basically, while Captain America from the future was with Peggy, regular Captain America was still doing his thing. There were two Captain Americas in the same time space. And it creates a paradox.
Yeah, no matter what, it creates a paradox, because let's say, for example, that...
But it was done to be a happy ending, and I like the ending either way.
Yes, let's say, for example, that Captain does go back in time, and let's say that there is only one Captain America in all these paradoxes, so the other one disappears. So that means it affects everything from the creation of the Avengers. Including
the scene in Captain America, was 3 or 2, when he sees Peggy. Remember he saw Peggy in the hospital, and then she dies in 3, like that. None of that happened if he goes back in time and he marries her.
And then she had a daughter that he kissed, bro. Like, is that his daughter now?
No,
I don't get it.
Come on now. Oh boy. Ugh. Yeah, no, that was a big mistake in the film. To me, that's one of the biggest mistakes in the film. Now, I want to ask you a question, and this is one that's kind of a deep question. Did you think having 2014 Thanos as the heel took away from 2019 Thanos? Because it kind of crossed my mind, like when Scarlet Witch is getting revenge. He even says, I don't even know who you are. That emotional scene they had in the forest with Vision does not apply to that Thanos, even though it applies to her.
But it does apply to him. It just hasn't happened yet. It's still the same guy.
Well, I know that. I know that's what I said to justify it. But I talked to a few of my friends, and they were like, well, it kind of lessened the fact that, it's a different Thanos they fought. But I actually thought it was...
But it's not a different Thanos.
Well, yeah, I felt like 2014 Thanos was way more savage. And I love, first of all, he is the best heel in the MCU to me now, without question. I'll tell you why. And we're going to get to this later on, if you want. Again, maybe we'll get to it now, whatever you want to do. He's so alpha. and yet so beta. I love when he comes to Earth and he's just sitting there waiting for the fight.
Yeah,
I love
that's awesome.
That
right
was
there.
alpha. He goes, I'm gonna wait, and then they come and he's like, you couldn't accept the fact that you got beat. You couldn't
But then again, I'm sorry. But then
now
again,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to kill you, and I'm not going to wipe out half the universe. I'm going to wipe out the entire thing and make a new one. I loved it, bro. He was monologuing a lot in the film, but his promos were fire, dude.
Yeah, he didn't have a fluid motion of speech anymore. That's one thing that was wacky. He was like Mr. Freeze was in Batman and Robin.
No,
Bro.
I don't know about that now.
Everything had to be a one-liner or something that was quotable. Every single line of the dialogue that fucking Thanos had, which was not the case in Infinity War, by the way. But that's cool, though, because I think a lot of people really enjoyed his sound bites, so they just kind of gave him more.
Also, we didn't see Jeff Goldblum in the movie, bro. Lord of Thunder took my champion. I would have loved if he showed up at the end, bro.
I love it.
Lord of Thunder, more like Sparks to me.
Another nitpick is how Scott Lang got out of the quantum realm, because there was a lot of speculation on who was gonna get him out. There was, was it gonna be Luis? Was it gonna be?
He just got out.
He just farted out of the van. The van farted and he shot out. And
I like how post 87 betas were crying about taking a piss break during a 3-hour movie when Scott Lang was in the quantum realm for 5 hours and didn't complain. What a bunch of pussies. Y'all are pussies, bro. I'm sorry.
He did take a piss on his suit, though.
That's true, and that was a great scene. Unless you are a pregnant woman or you have bladder issues, there is no reason you can't hold your piss in for 3 hours. Brother, I've been to 7-hour wrestling shows where I've only taken a piss one time, and I'll let you guess as to what match that was. But the point is, I sat through the entire movie, I peed right when the Rise of Skywalker trailer happened. I came right back.
We know
in.
you're so tight you wouldn't keep a canoe. So I know you don't buy concessions when you're
That's
there.
not true. I did buy concessions, and I still didn't have to piss, man. What's up with y'all's? You know what that's called, bro? We're gonna make a new term on this show, bro. That's a post 87 bladder. See,
It's not even a new term. You just combine.
That's right.
Being a pussy with having a weak bladder.
That's right. Because, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't know. We should take our piss breaks now or later. Fuck, just watch the damn movie, bro. Did they not see Lord of the Rings? Like we've seen 3-hour movies before. Titanic, bro. I mean, I didn't see Titanic in theaters, but I wouldn't have pissed.
Yeah. Not with our boy Billy Zane in the screen.
No, I would see, and I do want to see that movie in IMAX so I can see Kate Winslet's titties on the big screen. But now, did you see it in IMAX or Dolby for your first showing?
No, the first showing was regular. I'm gonna go see it in IMAX on Sunday.
I saw it in IMAX and it was amazing, and I'm gonna go see it in Dolby probably tonight or tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. I don't know.
Yeah, so Scott Lang coming out was just like whatever was kind of lame to me. Now one thing I did like, because so many of our heroes already had trauma from the snap.
Everyone had trauma.
Was that Scott Lang did not lose his daughter, because they had already used that for what's his name, Hawkeye.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that was good. So that was good. That was
Well, remember they had that rumor that they cast her to be older and all that. That was kind of revealed in the pre-movie speculation.
Yes, and then so Scott Lang, what he did lose was Hope. The Wasp. He lost her, so that was his motivation.
Now, what did you think about Michael Douglas with the wacky hair, bro?
Well, he has 70s hair, bro. He had a feather. That's awesome. I love that hair.
Now, I heard, I haven't seen the movie again, but I heard there was actually some mistakes it's probably going to get fixed for the Blu-ray. I heard that they actually screwed up on his hand. And there was one scene where you can see he has the old man hand for Michael Douglas, where they messed that up. So I'm guessing that'll be fixed before the Blu-ray comes out.
Well, we better see it soon before they fix it. Well, they already have the files out for the theater. That was such a post 87 shit. What I just said right now, bro. I feel bad to say.
I mean, but that ain't your fault. That's the world, bro. But
they had the files for the movie theater, bro.
So does this mean that now the MCU takes place in the year 2023, bro? That's what it means.
That's what it. Well, no, because I mean, so they have. They could still give us the Professor Hulk storyline if they decide to do that. Because so in those 5 years, we have a lot of movies in there. We have a Thor movie, how he kind of got lazy and fat. We got Professor Hulk.
We don't want to see that. We want to see Thor and the Guardians. That's what we want to see, which we're going to get to later.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right, bro. I thought that was great.
We also have Captain America going back. See, that's the thing. That's the thing that for some reason a lot of people are confused here. So when they created this plan to go back in time, the idea was that after they succeed, they were gonna go back and put the stones back where it belonged. Now this doesn't fix the plot hole you just came up with. That is the legitimate plot hole.
Yeah.
But this does fix the plot hole with Loki escaping, because when Captain America went back in time to put the stones back, he actually course corrected the timelines, because everything happened exactly how it has happened up until now. You see what I'm saying?
No, it didn't. Remember, no, it did not. No, it did not.
So he went back and he put the Power Stone back to where Peter Quill could get it in the Star Guardians. So that throws everything back into that. He went back to the 2012 New York City, the battle there.
Okay, but there's a problem. We don't have to go through all of it. Here's the issue: is he went back to 1970 to put the Tesseract back where it was. Right, that's one plot hole. Because Loki took the Tesseract in 2012 and disappeared, and they don't even know where he went. So there's going to be a split timeline, and we know there's going to be a Disney Plus series with Loki. So there has to be.
I guess that was a way for them to write him back in.
But I'm going to give you another one. What about the fact that Bobby Redford said we've had this in S.H.I.E.L.D. for 70 years or for 40 years or whatever? What about Marvel getting it, bro? Remember, you complained about that plot hole in Marvel. Now look, what about that one? Did you pick up on that one?
No, I did, but also that could just be Bobby Redford kind of rounding off. They've had it most of the time, bro.
Are you blaming Bobby Redford or the script on this one? I'm a little.
No, the script.
I was gonna say, I thought you said he went into business for himself there for a minute,
come on, bro. That fucking not a live show. But when you have a conversation with somebody, a real conversation as a real human being, he's not gonna be like, yeah, we've had it for the last 70 years, except for those 5 years where, Somali and Marvel took it. But besides, no, you just round off, bro.
That's true. That's a good point. You're right. Hail Hydra was a great line, though, bro, when he said that. Yeah. When they teased the elevator scene from Winter Soldier. Hail Hydra. That was good stuff, bro.
I felt like Captain going back in time kind of fixed everything, except for the fact that they fucked everything up by him just staying there and fucking everything up.
And Loki doing his own thing, which I'm okay with it.
Now I was kind of worried about that, because I was thinking, oh god, now they're gonna go after Loki. Here's like I said, that the Time Heist, it was getting a little long in the tooth there towards the end, and I was like, just get to the next portion of the film already.
But it led to that great scene where Cap and Tony had to work together, and then Tony saw his dad, which was an extremely amazing sequence. I love that whole thing. And then Cap saw his girl, and I love that so much.
Well, they didn't really work together. They were just in the same place, kind of separated, and they both had their storylines.
Yeah, but they were together when they went to that place, and I thought that was cool. I loved that. I loved it very much. So.
And one of the cool things about this film is that in a revisit, I feel like we're really, really gonna understand this is Iron Man's big goodbye. It's gonna hit us even more because now we're gonna have the context of the ending in mind, and we're gonna start picking up the fact that he is saying goodbye to this character.
That's what happened to me when I was driving home, bro. I was thinking about that. I was like, he did everything he could do before he passed away. He had a kid. He met his dad. Very emotional. So, do you have any other nitpicks, or do you want to get into the plot?
No, let's get into the plot now. That was pretty much it. If any of the others come up, I'll hit them up. But hey, for that being it, it's still a great fucking movie.
We open up with Clint Barton and his family disappearing. We kind of knew that was going to happen. My
brother predicted this to be the first scene of the movie, by the way, without reading any spoilers. He said this is how the movie's going to begin. And I go, okay, and sure enough, that was the cold open, and that's how it began.
It was beautiful, bro. And then we got the Marvel Studios logo. Then we have Tony and Nebula stuck on the ship with Oxygen running out, playing that little football thing. I love how they're making her more human. And then Carol Danvers rescues them and brings them to Earth. Then we immediately see Pepper Potts and Captain America there.
Now here's I have a question for you here. So Carol Danvers gets the page from Nick Fury. She comes down to the Avengers headquarters.
Says, "Where's
all
Fury?"
that was established. Now, somewhere in there, they had to tell her that Tony's lost, right?
That's right. And I'm guessing what happened was Rocket told her what the ship was like and where they were at, and they probably were able to trace it. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because it wasn't just coincidence that she found them, because she was already down there, and then she brought them down there, and then they all united right there. Now, what was the significance of Gamora kind of Nebula putting Tony like sitting him down and him facing outward. Was it like did she want him to have a comfortable seat as he's gonna die?
I think so. Yeah.
There was something
she didn't
to
need
that
the
that I
oxygen
really
like he did.
catch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I could be wrong.
And then that's where you know what's her name found him. You know.
Yeah, and they established the recordings that were going to be a big deal later on for the emotional impact. Actually, I'm getting emotional now thinking about it because it really, like, as we're revisiting this plot, it really is hitting me, all the foreshadowing there. And I knew. Let me just say something right now. When they showed him with his daughter and in that cabin in the middle of the movie, I knew either him or Pepper were going to go. I was like, I hope neither one of them go, but I think one of them's going to go, and it was him. But I'm just saying that now we kind of retrace our steps. It's even more impactful, which I think that's a great film. That's a great movie. Is a movie where when you watch it a second and a third time, you find new things. Like how much we mark out over Pulp Fiction, bro. We've nitpicked every single thing about that movie, bro.
We're still finding new things.
Jimmy Dimmick's history, bro. Fucking we've had long conversations about Jimmy Dimmick's history, even though it's like he's in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but those are a great 10 minutes, bro.
And it was supposed to be Steve Buscemi, bro, which would have been great. That would have been great too. Him playing. He has to say the N-word in every movie he's in. Okay, so they come to Earth. The Avengers are there. Natasha, Bruce, Steve Rogers, they're all there. Tony's pissed off at Cap, passive aggressively. And I like how they made him look all disheveled. Dude, he looked in very bad shape. But
that was also Robert Downey Jr. like dieting down tremendously. That wasn't just makeup. That was he actually did that himself.
I thought it was CGI. That's interesting.
Nah, come on. That's a very post-day. These guys still do their shit, bro.
Drugs?
Don't tell that to Christian Bale, who fucking really takes it to the next level every time he does a character.
Right?
No. This was Robert Downey Jr. like fucking getting like super skinny and looking all frail and shit. And again, the beautiful thing about this scene where it gets deep is that he was more angry at himself than he was at any of them, but he was gonna project that anger on them.
Yeah,
which was very, very deep, and so that was it, bro. And he had all this resentment towards like Steve Rogers that he just fucking let him have it right there on the spot, and it was a wonderful piece of acting because here we are watching what's a popcorn flick, and this is like some like fucking grade A level acting here during this.
I felt the acting from everybody was amazing, honestly, especially Paul Rudd, dude. This is my favorite Ant-Man performance of his career, bro.
Yeah, it was really good.
He knew how to bring the emotion. He knew how to bring the comedy. It was all well timed. I don't understand how people were saying, "Oh, it's disjointed." No, I disagree. I thought every scene that was supposed to be funny was funny effectively. I mean, they didn't all make me laugh, but every scene that was supposed to be serious was taken seriously. So they find out that they're going to go take on Thanos, and then we have a Cap saying, let's go get that son of a bitch. Then we have the logo, dun, 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 dun. They fly out to Titan 2 because they find out that he used the stones one more time. So they're like, what the hell?
Let me tell you another thing here that really popped me, bro. I love how Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel is like really powerful. She might be the most powerful of all of these superheroes, and she's like very confident, right? She just comes in there and she's like, well, "Let me go find Thanos so I could kill him," like that, like just straight up.
Which I thought was going to lead to her getting. I thought she was going to job out.
But I thought that was a great fucking line, dude. Like I thought it really showed how confident, and not only that, it shows how powerful she. Not only that she is powerful, that she knows it. And that's really scary. And then that's when it was like, oh shit.
She was written better here than she was in her own movie.
Yeah.
And by the way, what'd you think about her, let's just say Tony Schiavone 93 haircut, bro? What do you think about that? Because I heard that was supposed to be done on purpose to appeal to the women who like to touch other women.
Really?
That's what I heard. No, a couple of reviewers have said that was done on purpose to appeal to the women because her and Tessa Thompson have been tweeting stuff about them being like shipping together, and there's like talk that that's what they're gonna do, bro. They're gonna eventually ship them.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. Well, Rocket did make fun of that haircut, so that was good.
He did. Yeah. We've made fun of that haircut too off air a lot, but not with it when it comes to Carol Danvers. So they find the planet. And Captain Marvel's like, there's no army, there's no Black Order, nobody. He's by himself. All right, let's go get the son of a bitch. They go down there. She puts him in a chokehold. The Hulk Buster pops up. Thor. They all jump him, bro.
This is 3 weeks after the snap, by the way. We didn't make that clear.
Yeah. 3 weeks after.
So everything's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, and then he reveals to them that I did use the stones again to destroy them. It almost killed me. I'm in peace right now. I'm retired. I gotta be honest with you, bro. I kind of felt bad for him. I kind of, for a second, felt bad for him that he did his work, he retired, now they're going to come fuck with him. Now, again, obviously he killed their friends, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's that moment where I'm thinking, damn, this dude really was done with this. He was done. He wasn't going to go fight them. He wasn't going to go pick a fight with them. And then Thor cuts his head off, and then he's like, I went for the head. Which was a satisfying payoff to that story.
Yeah, but come on, he still killed a lot of people.
Oh, I know, but I still kind of felt bad. Like, damn. Like, and you notice that one of the tricks the Russos did to get the PG-13 rating, when he cut his head off, they didn't show blood. But when they replayed it later on, when 2014 Thanos looks at the replay,
They show the blood on the hologram.
That's right, but the hologram was blue. See, that was I picked up on that, and I said, I've been watching movies a long time. You call me a phony cinephile, bro, but I have my moments. I picked up on that.
Well, all you do is gotta watch a couple movies and you pick that up.
Come on, bro. You're burying me right now. Don't do that. So, but it was just, and then you know,
you're gonna be like Double G said that one time. Only I get over on my wall.
He did that.
So this is your show.
Did that Stevie J, bro. Remember? Stevie J was the guy.
So you always get over on your show.
Well, Double G has buried Stevie J and Ed Laredo on his Facebook as much as Vision's been buried these last two movies, bro. I would say so. Okay, so
as long as Double G's not wearing that Vision Civil War sweater, we're all right.
He would wear it. So he would, trust me. Okay, so Karen Gillan, bro.
Yeah, she's a she's a cute girl. Like Dave Meltzer would say, oh, she's a cute girl.
She's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl.
That's pretty girl. There you go. Not pretty.
Yeah, but no, she
did a great job.
I love her acting here when Thanos gets his head cut off. Where she has that like a little bit of remorse, and that was some good foreshadowing. Like, yeah, this is my father. He's a prick, but he was still my father. That was I love, and that was all in her facials, brother.
But also, there was another ironic moment here was when Thanos later on, when he's gonna battle them in the Avengers compound, he says that they're arrogant and that's how he was able to get them. But then here, he doesn't have any protection, bro. He just kicking it because he assumes they ain't gonna come and get him. So he himself was arrogant.
Yeah, well, he was also arrogant later on in 2014. You know, he thought he won.
Yeah, but then again, that's different. That's not being arrogant. That's being outsmarted. There's a difference. He wasn't. How would he ever respect that this fucking guy was gonna take him? And he had to assume that Tony Stark was gonna sacrifice his own life. Which when you're an egotistical, narcissist, you don't assume that because you're God's gift. So it's like, why would you do that? So he couldn't put himself in that situation that Tony did. And then that's why it caught him by surprise. So that's not being arrogant. That's just being outsmarted and pretty much sacrificing your own life to get there. But
here's a question for you. So we know that Thanos has superior technology to anything on Earth. We've found that out several times. He has way better technology. How is it that he had to go and get that Infinity Gauntlet forged from a dying star? Meanwhile, Tony Stark is able to build one from Earth materials. How about that one, bro?
That's another one. I forgot about that nitpick. The fact that the gauntlet didn't really mean much in this movie, and it was just there.
So Tony Stark invented his own gauntlet. He invented time travel. He invented all these freaking things. He's smarter than anybody, bro.
Well, to be fair, he's been a Deus Ex Machina since the very beginning. So they've established that whenever they need something created, he's
comes like up with Billy in Power Rangers, bro.
Remember, bro? Come on. It's like, what about the fact that he had a Spider-Man suit that was capable to be in space, just stored in the facility? He just had one lying around.
Yeah, and he made one for his wife, which we're gonna talk about later on, because that was a great scene too.
Yeah. So no, as these movies go on, Tony Stark has always just been able to create whatever is needed to benefit the plot, bro. That's just laughable at this point.
But at the same time, we're nitpicking it, but we're not hating it because that's comic books. Like the books are like
that. Yeah. And also, it's not something that came out of nowhere. It's been kind of a running gag since the very beginning. He just has everything. It's like Batman's utility belt in the 1966 show. It's like whatever he needs, anything, he just has it there.
The bat like rat repellent and shit. Yeah. So
like he has a little mechanism to heal his scar when Thanos stabbed him. He had that little mechanism to make the Hulk's arm feel better when he got burned by the gauntlet. All this, he just has it, bro.
They're gonna need him for Phase 4 and 5, brother.
Bro, what about when the Vulture fucked up that big ship and he just had that technology to fucking put the ship back together? together in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yep. Yeah.
He just kind of put it back together
with the iron suit, bro. Yeah. So
no, he had these fucking wacky things like bugs that came
together.
Yeah,
they pushed together. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he can do anything. So
he thinks of everything, dude.
All right, so Thor.
Yeah, he couldn't bring his boy the Vision back. He thought about everything, but he couldn't bring the Vision back.
Thor cuts his head off, and then they show him walking into the field. It fades away. And by the way, the scene of Thanos in the garden was totally from the freaking comics. That's exactly what he did when he snapped, when he was retired. And then it says on the screen 5 years later. Some people thought it was 5 months. No, 5 years later. That's shocked a lot of people, bro.
And also, one of the things that I loved about that Thor scene was that, sometimes in doing good deeds, you actually make things worse for everybody else, right? Because they needed this guy to get that information about the stones, and Thor working on full emotion because it had only been 3 weeks, and also scarred from the fact that he had this guy on the ropes before and he didn't finish the job.
Which bothered him for the rest of the movie.
He just reacted and he chopped his head off, and I think it was that selfish act of chopping his head off, because it was based on emotion, so it was definitely selfish because now they couldn't get nothing out of this guy, and it really haunted him. And at that point, he considered himself a failure. Now he was already down on himself before that, because he was kind of like blasé whenever they were on the compound before they went to meet up Thanos the first time. So he was already kind of down on himself, but this only put him over the edge. And then his whole story arc was kind of bringing back the old Thor and that confidence back, whereas he had kind of given up on himself. Anyways, keep on going.
So 5 years pass. Scott Lang escapes the quantum realm. They have that comedy scene with security guard. He goes to the Avengers. Well, first he reunites with his daughter, which is a great scene. Showed Paul Rudd.
That was a nice surprise because they didn't use that as an emotional bait, so that was good.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd did a great job with it. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He finds Natasha and Steve Rogers, and he says he's the one who comes up with the idea of going through time. He's like, if we can manipulate time, we might be able to go back and fix all this. And
what I like about this is that they didn't make Scott Lang this all of a sudden genius to serve the plot. He knew about this because he
watched movies. That's why, and that was great. That was brilliant, brother. They brought up Time Cop, bro.
No, but also he just knew that this could happen because of Hope and Hank Pym's ability to do it with him. But he had no clue, how the hell to explain it to them. That's why they had to kind of recruit Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. So anyways, keep on going.
Bruce didn't even know, but Tony did. So they find Bruce, and they have that awesome scene in the diner where he's, happy to be Hulk. He's Professor Hulk, taking pictures with the fans. Take back your goddamn phone. That was great stuff. Great set of comedy. And brother, the motion capture. I know Andy Serkis probably got a payday again because he's very good at getting paydays. The motion capture in this movie is better, bro. They're getting better at this every film. Because that looked like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, but sure.
It did. It was great. So he doesn't know what to do. So they go.
Thanos in the right light also looks like Josh Brolin a lot.
That's true. But he's not alpha like his dad, James Brolin, bro, the host of Beyond Belief Season 1. We'll put him over. He's alpha.
You always put that guy over for that, bro.
Always. That's all he ever did. So they find Tony Stark in a cabin, and he's happy because he has a daughter now named Morgan, and him and Pepper got married. So the tease of them having a kid in the last movie, which he actually said her name was Morgan, I think, in Infinity War, they had a kid. And he was happy retired. And even though he was missing Peter Parker, which I loved that, he was happy retired. The Avengers show up and they say, we might have a chance at doing this. And Stark is like, it's too dangerous. He was afraid. This was great writing. He was afraid of going back in time and changing the events because it would undo his daughter's birth. That's all he cared about in the film, was making sure his daughter was all right. And that was... What a great man! I'm gonna miss that guy. I really am gonna miss Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I really am. What a great arc for that character. Starts out being a selfish asshole and ends up with a daughter and caring only about her. It was great.
And one of the things that I thought the Russos were able to convey very well as these 5 years before they set up the time heist and after they killed Thanos is there's a sense of mourning as this entire time is going on, and there's a little bit of dread in the air, even though everybody's moved on, even though Tony Stark has a family, even though Bruce Banner kind of found a little bit of success with Professor Hulk. There's still a little bit of sadness in all the characters as they're all trying to move on, and that's true to life, right? Because whenever there's a traumatic experience, it takes, even though we kind of go back to normal, we still carry that burden with us as we move forward. And I thought the Russos did a great job, because even though they could have just stayed that, they didn't have to go back in time or whatever. If they would have just stayed the way it was, they would have been able to all live, happy lives. But
well, possibly there could have been a supervillain that would have come up, and they would have had to work together again. Now, one person who did not live a happy life was Clint Barton. He actually had a meltdown and became a vigilante called Ronin. Now, I gotta say, I love
hey,
this.
Honey, we got a vigilante here.
Right?
Execute him.
Yeah, right. We got us a real kid. Hey, Lash Lou. He stopped his first from jingling and jangling. So,
all right,
you know what, bro? McFeely, they're good writers, but Pulp Fiction is still better written, bro. Sorry, but
there ain't no Tarantino, yeah.
Ain't no 94 Tarantino. That was in his prime. So, I love the scene where Romanoff's talking to the Don Cheadle or whatever, and she's talking about how, like, they already are building. Rhodey, yeah, they're building up. They should have had Terrence Howard pop up. If they went to Iron Man 1, bro, they should have had Terrence Howard play him again, bro. That would have popped me. And they should have had Eddie Norton. No, and Tim Roth didn't get a payday, man.
That's the redheaded stepchild of the entire franchise, bro.
It sucks, bro. Because Tim Roth deserves it. You know he does.
They've been brought back that snot-nosed punk from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, damn him. He's an emo kid now. So, I love how they already are establishing early in the film that Natasha has a very strong friendship. Not a relationship, because the man's married and she had a thing with Hulk for a while. Friendship. Platonic friendship with Clint. And I love the scene in Japan. I'll tell you why. The scene in Japan with him fighting Yakuza, bro. He was mad because Geto booked the wrong finish at the Tokyo Dome that year. And he wanted to take it out on the Yakuza, bro. That's what really happened. Bro, that felt like a scene from another movie, dog. Tell me I'm lying. That felt like a scene from a John Woo film from like 1994, bro. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I ain't lying on that, and that's what made it awesome.
It had like a Blade Runner vibe to it.
Yeah, because that's in Japan. Looks like that.
Tokyo, Japan looks like that.
Yeah, bro. No, but I love how
the Yaska, bro. They got their ass whooped.
He stabs him, and then he puts the blade. Bro, they were pushing that PG-13 rating.
No, but remember, first he went down to Mexico and took care of El Chapo, bro.
That's right, bro. He was solving all our problems for us, bro. I wonder if R. Kelly was on his list.
He would have choppy his pee-pee first.
So she finds him, and she recruits him to come help. And then we have the scene where they kind of have to figure out what they're going to do. And they explain time travel and the new suits. They have the scene with Ant-Man testing out the suit. And then Clint goes back in time and sees his daughter. And he's like, oh, shit, like, this works. Then we have the scene where they come up with the idea of what to do. And I love the build-up here. Like, they're recapping the other movies. Thor. Oh, no, wait. I haven't got to the Thor part yet. So, I'm sorry. So, Hulk and Rocket go to Norway, to New Asgard. They show Tessa Thompson again. Has a very cute face. Then they show Thor, who's now fat, and the scene where Rocket says, "You look like melted ice cream, bro." Why haven't we used that joke on fat people before, bro?
We've used melted candle before.
You use that, bro. I don't offend fat people like you are. Bro. I don't hate them like you are, bro. You're also the guy who said on KLB, and I quote, "The fatter you are, the more disgusting you are." You said that about 5 years ago. You said that, bro.
That was different me. Much like the Avengers, I've gone through time and I've changed, all right?
Oh, so you're telling me 2014 Draven is not the same as 2019 Draven. So you're like Thanos then. Now, if you were to go back, here's the question. If you were to go back 2014 Draven and tell him one thing, what would you tell him, bro?
I'll tell him to...
You'll tell him don't go to WrestleMania 35?
Avoid New Jersey.
Avoid New Jersey, bro. Okay.
Now, this is where the film kind of shifts a little bit. So we've gone through the whole mourning phase of the Avengers already. I mean, now they're still in mourning. Don't get me wrong, because Thor is heavily in mourning. This is all. Thorne is just he's griefy. He's in grief.
Did you like what they did with his character? Because I did, but a lot of people did not like it. I liked it though.
No, I liked it. I liked this entire movie, bro. This entire movie felt like like so non-Hollywood. It's not even funny. That now I understand. Now it makes sense why it couldn't be Infinity War Part 2 because it's a completely different film.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Very different.
it's the way it's filmed, the way it's structured. It wouldn't have made sense for this to be a sequel. It's just really a completely different film.
But it is a sequel. It still is a sequel, though.
Well, it's a sequel, but I mean, it's not a direct sequel. Like it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Especially with that 5-year gap. But let me say this. One of the things that I liked about the Russo brothers is how they did a lot of what we call mind fucks, right? So first we get the whole reveal of Thanos getting his head chopped off. Then we get the big 5 years later. So you're processing all this. What the fuck's going on? And then right after that we get Professor Hulk, and you're like, what the fuck? So all these things are fucking with your mind and your emotions as you're. And this
Fat
is like the
Thor.
20 minutes, and then we get Fat Thor, and it's like.
Or what about the fact that
what going on here?
What about the fact that Korg and them are playing Fortnite, which I figure I don't know if kids are gonna be playing that game in 2022 or 23 or whatever, but that was kind of a plot hole, but not really. He's playing the game that got a big pop in my audience. They had a bunch of kids in the audience.
All that's gonna do it's a dated reference, kind of like when in Iron Man 1 when he's talking about MySpace, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Your MySpace page. Yeah, that's right. But again, I loved how he was a mess and he decided to come and help. You know, he decided to help out. So they all reunite. They all go back to Avengers headquarters. They explain the whole time travel thing, like what they're going to do. They're going to split up into 3 teams because it happens that there's 3 stones in New York in 2012 during the first Avengers film. Then during Thor 2, there was the 1 stone there. Or was it 2 stones?
No, it was 1, the ether.
1. And then the other 2 were in during Guardians of the Galaxy. So
no, one of them was the Soul Stone, which they didn't know you need a sacrifice for.
They did not know that. Yeah, they did not know that. The Nebula did not fill them in, bro.
Yeah, maybe she didn't know either.
She did. She did know, because remember in Infinity War he goes, Thanos came, took Gamora to whatever, and she didn't come back with her. Remember, she's the one that told Star-Lord about it.
Yeah, but maybe she didn't know that you needed her to sacrifice it for the stone. She just know she didn't come back.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she knew.
Because Thanos didn't even know. Thanos found out when he got there in Infinity War.
But she also said he came back with the Soul Stone. I feel like she knew, and she didn't tell him.
I don't know. You would have to connect too many things there.
No, I think she knew. So they go back to 2012, and we see that they start with the iconic scene from Avengers 1, which was great. You know, the camera pan around them.
Now here's the scene that I thought could have been. It was a fun scene. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it could have been edited because it really didn't serve. When they're going through the computer monitor, and like you said, that's when we found out about the ether and all that. So all that is just to kind of pay tribute to some of the older films, which we're gonna get anyway with the vignettes of them going back in time. So I thought, that was one scene where I was like, okay, well they could have cut this film and the film would have been the same thing. Yeah. You know the part where Thor comes up and he's still drunk and he's talking about Jane and you know he's getting a little long in the tooth and they want to sit him down. That scene, that's the scene I'm talking about.
No, I agree, and I love that. I love that scene. I thought it was very funny, and it helped also rebuild the fact that, and that actually built up to another scene later on where when he goes back in time, and this I loved, when he goes back in time, he sees his mother and he breaks down, very emotional, because I love how he saw his ex-girlfriend there, and that was emotional, but his mother was way more emotional because, yeah, he broke up with Jane, whatever, she's still alive, or maybe she disappeared in the snap, we never knew, but his mom was dying that day, and he told her he was from the future. Like, that was a great moment for the Thor character.
And he almost fucked up with the timeline because he almost told her. But she knew, so she was like, "No, don't tell me. This is about you."
But her being a goddess is like, you know, kind of a good, like she kind of knew things. So they go to the future and the past. I'm sorry, and they have the Avengers, and they have to basically find all the stones. And I love little things here, like how Tony's sneaking around. They show Captain America. Oh, that's Captain America's ass, and that whole like running gag. And they had Loki there, and you know Tom Hiddleston got a payday. And I love the fact that Banner goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum and runs into the Ancient One. So we're seeing the Ancient One helped the Avengers out in 2012 without them even knowing it. That was brilliant. That was Back to the Future Part 2, Insidious Part 2, done right.
Yeah, and also the fact that she wasn't in her own, you know, because where did Doctor Strange didn't find her in New York? She put him there. So she was like in where was she at? In a Southeast Asia country or something like that.
Well,
That's where he had to go. I think it was Malaysia or something. Yeah, it was Malaysia.
I also love how Hulk brought up Stephen Strange to her, and she's like, "Oh, he's not coming for about 5 years." So that means that she used the Time Stone to see into the future. So she knew she was gonna die, and she knew that Doctor Strange would become the new, master of the mystic arts, right? She knew that. And she accepted it, and I like that. But she did not know about Infinity War and the Endgame, because if she would have gone even further in the future with the Time Stone, she would have been able to see that, what Doctor Strange saw, and that's what convinced her to hand over the stone.
Yeah, or else they just didn't write that into it because they wouldn't have served the plot. That's really what happened, bro.
No, but it was well done though, because I love how she hits Hulk. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," trying to be the big tough guy. She hits him, and then Banner comes out of him, and that was really, really fun.
And also the way she's fighting the aliens, because you would imagine that there's people around the Avengers in the battle that are also fighting the aliens. So she's also shown kind of killing a couple of them before her scene starts.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier. That I love how she was helping them out without them even realizing it. That was very well done.
Yeah, well, it was more that she was protecting herself. That's why I didn't really understand what you were saying. Because I'm sure regular people like me and you would have to be kind of fighting too, or either that or running if we were caught up in the middle of all that. So everybody had to be doing something if you were in the vicinity of that battle. You couldn't just be sitting there watching, because they would, you would have gotten killed.
Right. Now, Rogers got the Mind Stone, but then he runs into his past version of himself, and I love the whole I can do this all day. He's like, I know. He said that like 3 times.
So let me say a couple things about this right here, this particular moment of the film when they're back in time. I love the fact that now, not only are you getting payoffs to the films, you're also getting more information about the past
about what happened right after Avengers 1.
Because now you find out how Hydra ended up with the scepter, which makes complete sense, by the way.
Yep.
So that's awesome, because if you watch Phase 1, you just know they have it. They never say how they got it. They just have it, but you assume they got it because they were infiltrating Shield. So that's how you know they got it. But now we get the specific details of how they ended up with it. And that was pretty. And
the little thing that Thor put on Loki's mouth. Remember we saw that in Avengers 1. They explained how he put that on his mouth. He kept talking.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I love that. I love that whole thing. The elevator. You could take the stairs. I don't want to take the stairs. That was awesome.
And then Loki's infatuation with Captain America, because he that was the second time he fucked with him, because also in Thor: The Dark World he turned into Captain America as well when he's fucking with Thor as they're walking to go kill the Dark Elves. So that was cool how they referenced back to that, and once again he turned into Captain America, and that's where Captain America from the past thought that was Loki that he was fighting, not himself.
Yeah, Loki from Ring of Honor. No, but yeah, I love that too. He's like, I found Loki, and then they're fighting, and then he's like, Bucky's alive. And people said that was the Martha moment. It was not. But it was cool that he told him, Bucky's alive, and then freaking he took the he that was awesome, bro. And then he knocked him out and took the scepter or whatever. Yeah. I love that whole sequence, bro, because I love when they do that in movies. I told you how much I marked that over Insidious 2 when they did that. I love when they do that in films. Back to the Future Part 2 is a really revolutionary film, and I love how they paid tribute to it here while also saying, that's not how time travel works. Love it, bro. Very, very, very intelligently written film, I thought.
And I also like how they didn't go overboard with the whole gimmick of like running into yourself. They could have really gone wild with that, but they didn't do it, and I like that. I really like that a lot.
Except for the one fight with Cap and Cap.
Yes. Right. Well, they also had Hulk and Hulk. He's embarrassed of his old self.
Yeah, but they didn't fight, which would have been been awesome if they did fight though.
Well, I think Incredible Hulk would have beat Professor Hulk because
easily.
So they didn't really go overboard with that. Go ahead.
So everything goes to shit. Ant-Man tries to go inside of he fucks up Tony Stark's heart, and the guy's like all fucked up. That was funny. They kick away the briefcase. Loki gets the stone, disappears, and that's an unfinished plot thread. Either the Disney Plus Loki series is going to be covering that, or they're going to come back to it in a future movie. But they can't be done. So there's basically a Loki in another timeline that's still alive with the cube, and we don't know what's going to happen with that timeline, but without question it has to be a Divergent timeline. It has to be.
One of the things that
Shield needs that cube. Sorry, go ahead.
one of the things that I really, really appreciated about this film, and as you know, this was my big concern going in, was how they were going to handle the deaths, and how some deaths are forever, and some, like when you fade away, were not forever. And that's good because, again, the universe established that, right? If you turn to dust, you're not really dead, but if you die, you're really dead. And I love how this film, they never brought back Vision. You know, they never brought back Gamora. They you know, people that are dead, and even the way they brought back like Loki and stuff, they did it in a clever way to where it was in the past, and that's how he was able to, you know, come back. And even the new Gamora is the Gamora from the past. So I really like that. I really like how they respected the stakes of being dead, while at the same time using the gimmick of like you know, bringing them back. So that was pretty cool.
I just sent you something in the DMs I want you to look at, bro, real quick. I love, and we were talking about this earlier, bro. You gotta look at that picture I just sent you in the DMs, right? Because it just shows that Mark Hamill is still pissed. I like how he's still mad over how they fucked up the sequel trilogy, bro. He's still mad, and I want you to look at that, bro. Tell me it doesn't pop you.
I'm looking at it right now. What the fuck? This is not found.
What the? Huh? Hold on a minute. Hold on. We'll do it live on the air, bro. I don't care. Cause I want to hear your reaction live on the. We're not live, but
I got it here. I'm gonna blow it up right now. I'll blow it up. He put a Force Ghost on him.
Bro, he's still mad that they never did that, and I agree. I kind of agree. I sent you the picture again, so you have it.
Go back to his Twitter. I think he deleted it. No. There it is.
Oh, that's wacky, bro.
I like how he's popping too. In the picture that he put
I know
up.
he's popping, bro. Anyways, that's like when somebody took remember the whole that joke that was made years ago about how they were gonna take Eddie Guerrero's Force Ghost and put him in WrestleMania 22 when Ray won the belt. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right, and they never did, but they should have.
No, they should have.
No, but this is cool because he put everybody, not just himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He put everybody, and we never saw that. We never will.
Hashtag missed opportunities.
He's right. So okay,
look at his that name, Hamill himself.
That's his name. Yeah, it's been his name forever.
I'm not on Twitter. I don't know this shit.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Loki escapes.
It ain't no vampire, but it's up there.
Close enough. So Loki escapes. Rogers and Stark are like, well, we're screwed. Like Ant-Man's like, we don't have any more Pym particles, but if there might be a place where you can actually get Pym particles and the stone. Conveniently enough, it's the SHIELD base in 1970. I don't recall this being mentioned in the previous film. Do you?
Oh, I think they just made it up for this movie.
They made it up for the movie, yeah, because they knew that both Hank Pym, Michael Douglas with wacky hair, and his dad were going to be there. And they did. They went back there.
This is okay, though, because they have established that Hank Pym used to work at S.H.I.E.L.D. So that
Absolutely.
And they have it. So it's a logical assumption to think that at one time in 1970 they're both going to be in the same place at the same time. So that's cool. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, and somehow he knew. Somehow Tony knew. And they had that really amazing scene where I love when Cap goes in the room and sees the picture of himself, and then he sees Peggy. That broke my heart, bro, because this woman Peggy loved him so much that she still remembered him.
I like how Wonder Woman is beta for not getting over Chris Pine in 70 years, but this woman is alpha for missing her man for 70 years, bro. Make up your mind.
I didn't say she was alpha. I said it was. I didn't. And obviously she did get over him because she had a daughter and it wasn't his. So with another man. So
Batman had to tell Wonder Woman to get over this dude that she hadn't seen in fucking 60 years.
Well, somebody should have told Batman to get over Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight Rises, bro. 8 years and the motherfucker was out of it, or however long it was. So, okay, so I love that scene, though, how he looks at her and he's like thinking back, like, man, because he all goes back to that Captain America from the first movie where he missed his date. He missed his fucking date, and he's been.
No, it's great. I'm just mumbling because it's an awesome fucking scene.
And I love how he's always been so selfless. He's been so unselfish, and at the end, it's like, I'm gonna do something for me, and that was great. And
he kept it for himself because when Sam asked him, he's like, nope, I'm not gonna tell you, and then he just kind of smiles.
But we all knew, the audience knew, and I love how Tony meets his dad, who he had idolized for a long time. I mean, there's obviously in the old Iron Man movies, we see like him looking at his dad's recordings, and
remember, they never got to say goodbye because the Winter Soldier killed them.
that's right. And you know, oh, my wife is pregnant. He just had a kid. Like, there are so many amazing things about that scene. And this was the Russos and McFeely and Christopher Marcus, like writing like, you know, Iron Man's complete journey in his life. Before he went, he got to meet his father, bro, through time travel, which none of us are ever going to have a chance to do, even though I'm sure many of us wish we could do, you know, a young version before you were even born. I loved it. I mean, I loved it. It really, again, I'm going to go see the movie again. I know it's going to hit me when I see it again, bro. It's very powerful.
And again, going back to these gimmicks that they're using them very sparingly. They're not hitting us over the head with us. Once you're dealing with time travel, you could go crazy with all these. We could have had like you know, Bruce Banner meet somebody from his past. Like they could have gone overboard with it, but they respectfully
we could have had Mark Ruffalo meet Ed Norton. That would have been wacky, bro. But you know what? You know why I loved it? Because the theme of the movie was family and friends. That's what this movie was about. Tony was a father. He was a son. He was a husband. Cap was a son and not a father that we know of, even though maybe they did have kids. But he really loved that woman, bro. And it was very emotional. This is probably the most emotional. Emotion. Oh, no.
This one in Guardians 2. But even
it's up there. It's up there, yeah.
Even with the Thanos' family, the theme was the same. Even they had the theme of family with her and Gamora and Nebula.
Yes,
because you know, but that was like a darker, dysfunctional family. Yeah, you know. But again, back to the kind of making analogies to the real world, you see a lot of families that are dysfunctional like that, where Thanos is kind of like an authoritative figure, but those families make it work somehow. Even though they're not really happy, they're accepting of their family hierarchy. And that was another cool thing that I love, how like we're seeing both that theme of family and friends, but in the entire film, not just with the good guys, you know. So that was pretty cool.
Thor says goodbye to his mom, gets Mjolnir, and then they go back to the future. Then we have the Clint Barton Romanoff storyline.
But again, one of those time travel plot holes that is not the film's fault. It's just when you choose time travel, you're gonna get this. What about the Thor from that time? Where's his fucking Mjolnir at?
Remember, see, everybody missed this. When Cap goes back to fix the timeline, he took the hammer with him. It's in the corner. He fixed it.
Okay.
So what happened was, when he went back, this is off screen, he left the hammer in Dark World timeline, and then when Thor summoned it, it went to him. So he did, because it's very hard to see, but when he steps in the time machine, you can actually see the hammer behind him. It's there.
All right, perfect.
So they fixed it, yeah. So they go to Vormir. They find out from the Red Skull that, you know, you got to sacrifice somebody you love, and they're actually fighting to see who's going to die. And
that's another great scene. They get their moment here beautifully.
Yep, and then she dies, which I was not expecting that. What did you think about that, the death of Natasha Romanoff?
I wasn't expecting it either. That was another mindfuck moment of the movie, amongst many of them.
Yeah, and I love how in this movie they did have that scene with all the women later on. I know that Greg the Hammer Valentine did not like that scene, but I love that it's the A squad or whatever. The A squad is the women. But basically, like, they had that scene and she wasn't there, but it was like a tribute to her because she was the first, like, you know, superhero. She didn't have any powers, but, you know, well, here's the weird thing that I want to ask you about. So they killed her off in this film. She's dead. She can't be brought back because they had to kill her off with Soul Stone to get Soul Stone. And again, by the way, Jeremy Renner was great also in his reaction to her passing.
He was great throughout the entire film, and he's not known to be a great actor, by the way. But here he really stepped it up.
Everybody stepped it up here. But they have a Black Widow prequel coming out. Now, I'm interested in her backstory, but do you feel that killing the character off now is going to hurt that film?
No, I think it's gonna add to it, because whatever the film's plot's gonna be, it could even be even more emotional knowing that she died. Maybe they'll connect it. You know, maybe for all we know,
see Budapest, because they keep talking about Budapest all the time, bro.
I believe so. And also we're probably gonna see maybe there was a romance before Hawkeye met his wife. You know, we never know.
You're right.
You know,
you're right about that.
She did talk about not knowing her dad, and you know, essentially she sacrificed herself because there was nobody else she was gonna come home to other than Hulk, you know, like the Hulk.
Maybe Hulk, yeah. And I love how he reacted later on. Like he was like, she's not coming back.
Pissed. The only thing here, now there's another thing that I picked up when I saw when they came back, and everybody asked about her, right? Like, where is she at? Everybody just knew, but Gamora hadn't come back either, and nobody asked about her.
Gamora. You mean Nebula?
I mean Nebula. Yeah, I'm sorry. So when they all came back together with all the stones, everybody noticed that Natasha was gone, but nobody asked about Nebula.
Because they cared more about Natasha. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean that's the truth.
No, but it's still somebody from the crew that left that didn't come back, right? And it was like, well, where's she at?
Did you think that Natasha should have gotten the same kind of goodbye that Tony got? Because I feel like they focused more on that than hers.
No, but you've been following wrestling a long time. You start doing that, they devalue each other, bro. You can only do one.
I understand that. I was just curious to get your thoughts on it.
No, that was fine how they did it, because she did get her moment. Her funeral or her goodbye was that moment when they're all talking on the dock, and the Hulk throws the bench over to the woods.
Yeah.
That was kind of her. And that was a good moment because they didn't, any other movie would just edit it. It would have gone from like, where is she? She's dead, to the next scene. But right here, they allowed us. Yeah, they allowed us to let it sink in that she's gone, and everybody was very sad, and so I thought it was pretty good.
So we go to
you didn't want to go too overboard because Tony Stark was going to get his big moment later on.
So then we have where the movie really cranks up. On Morag, they knock out Peter Quill and take the Power Stone before he can take it.
Now, here's my concern about that. And again, it goes back to our wrestling training, I guess you could say. I don't like... Peter Quill's becoming more and more of a clown as these movies are going on, bro. And he's becoming very one-dimensional. And I don't know if I agree with that.
How do you feel the same way about Thor?
No, because Thor still has the whole complexity of his family and the reason why he let himself go, why he became a drunk. I could understand that. Now he, you could go like that with Thor as well, but with Peter Quill, like he's a punchline, bro, and he started to become a punchline in Infinity War. Now he's more. This entire film, he's a punchline to the point where Gamora hits him in the balls. And he sells them, and he makes a joke about it. But yeah, no, I don't like that because he's a very important character who's getting more and more demoted as time goes on.
Well, we'll see because I trust James Gunn, bro. So we'll see because now I'm actually looking forward to Guardians 3 even more because we're gonna have Chris Hemsworth, and we're gonna have Thor and Peter Quill and James Gunn, and we're gonna have that love story with Gamora rebooting. So that could be a lot of fun, bro. I'm actually really looking forward to Guardians 3 even more than before, bro. I wish I could go drive by Dave Bautista and tell him that again, bro. But maybe someday. So
and another thing too is that they didn't do anything with Groot in this movie, and he's marketed towards the little kids. In the last movie, he had that scene where he sacrifices his arm, and makes the axe handle. Here, he didn't do anything. He really didn't do much, so that was kind of weird.
Well, a lot of the other characters, like Black Panther, and they didn't do much. They were just there to come back and be part of the big fight. So we'll talk about that later. So Rhodey goes back to the present, but Gamora or Nebula's stuck in the past, and then we find out that there is a Wi-Fi connection with her previous self. That was a
Wi-Fi, bro.
That's a Deus Ex Machina and a half, bro. The cybernetic implants of her connected with her in 2014, and then I love how Ebony Maw is there helping out Thanos of 2014 figure out what the hell's going on. So Thanos finds out that he won.
Again, a clever way to bring him back while respecting the original deaths. Yes, I love that shit.
Yes, with all the Black Order, because they were all there. Obsidian Cole, they were all the chick. Yeah. So, and I love how, that was brilliant. And I love how Thanos is like, oh, I won. And then he's like, oh, and then he sees his own head get cut off. And he's like, oh, wow. He realizes like, yeah, I won, but I should have killed him. And really, he could have. That's the funny thing is, talk about going back and, because I love here's the great writing right here. So Thor is remorseful because he did not go for the head. He feels responsible for his failure. Thanos of 2014 sees what his future self was going to do, and he's like, shit, I should have killed the Avengers. Had I done the snap and then gone on to kill Captain America and Iron Man, and instead of just leaving, none of this would have happened. And he realized that he made a mistake. So now 2014 Thanos is even more determined to not just snap, but to wipe out the Avengers. And now and I love, oh God, the promo when he's like, this is personal now. Like, oh God, what a great heel, bro.
Yeah, because out of all the things that he's done, nothing has been personal, but this is personal.
He's like, I'm going to enjoy destroying this world. Man, what a great You know what? I'm raising my review from an 8.5 to a 9, dog, just because of that promo.
And the thing about it was, too, is that, again, going back to how people saying, well, it's not the same Thanos. First of all, it is the same Thanos.
Second, it's a smarter Thanos in some ways when you think about it.
But it's not even like it was a 10-year difference. It was a 5-year difference. So it's like whatever he's feeling, he felt, before they killed him the first time. So because he is pissed off. You know, even though he wasn't in the future to enjoy the first victory, he still knows that they took it away from him. So it is personal, and he is gonna fucking kill all these Avengers. And one of the things that popped me, bro, is that when he walks in, because this is around the time where Ronan
he
finds
mentions Ronan,
the Power Stone when they go
Ronan,
and try to take
the accuser, not Ronan Jeremy Renner. Just making sure we're clear.
Yeah, Ronan the accuser. You know, and I thought they were gonna show him, but they didn't, unfortunately, because I thought he was gonna show up in the planet where Peter Quill was.
Well, he jobbed out to. Oh, let me get me started. Keep going.
So no, but he's coming in, bro, Thanos, and he's all bloody and shit. Cause who knows who the fuck he went to kill? You know, that was pretty cool right there. He's got that big old blade, the double blade,
which was a metaphor for the blade he showed Gamora in the previous film. Remember the little perfectly balanced as all things should be. Remember that?
Yeah. I like your Josh Brolin impression right there, bro.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be. But you know what? That's the perfect voice for that character. Perfect voice for that character. So he comes up with his own plot where he has present Nebula, who still is attached to him, still his daughter, go back in time. And remember, in the comics, she actually got the gauntlet at one time and used it. But go back in time and infiltrate the base to bring him to the future and the entire army on the ship to wipe them out and win now. Like Thanos, like, screw it, I'm gonna go win right now. And that's what happens. And they couldn't tell it was a different Nebula. But
no, because she took that little gold-plated thing and she put it on.
Yeah, the little gold-plated thing, yeah. So she becomes like a spy. That was great writing, I thought, bro, because and that was the one thing about this film that I was not expecting. I thought, Draven, when Thor cut his head off at the beginning of the film, I thought that was bullshit. I thought it was the reality stone he was using to create an illusion, like the other Doink the Clown. That right? I thought that it was an illusion, that it wasn't the real Thanos. That we're gonna find out that the real Thanos had his army across the universe, and that's how the invasion was gonna happen, right? But no, it wasn't the same Thanos. It was the 2014 Thanos when he had his whole army there, and the Black Order was still alive. It's like, we're gonna do this again in New York this time. So
yeah,
they go back to the present. The new Infinity Gauntlet's there. Banner.
Well, with no explanation, which is a nitpick, and I didn't like, but let's keep on going.
They didn't even like hint about him having it. He did the snap, and then everyone comes back, but not right away. They come back slowly around the world, which it would have been cool if they would have had like a montage, but it would have taken away from that scene.
No, I don't know. I disagree with you. I think that it would have impacted that scene tremendously.
It would have impacted the scene, yeah. But I'm saying they could have had regular people. You know.
Yeah, because you figure they all came back and they all had time to kind of get their shit together. Like Black Panther went back to Wakanda because he brought everybody with him, so everybody was able to kind of reconfigure themselves before they go back to that portal.
Before Doctor Strange is the one who reached out to all of them, was like, "Yo, we got to go fight now, dog. It's going down now." Like, I love how they didn't show it, but he's like, "Yo, it's going down right now. We got to go help out our boys. They brought us back. We got to go help them out." Man, I love this. Okay, so hold on. So they go back to the present. He snaps it, and then while that's going on, Nebula turns on the time machine again, and Thanos' entire ship shows up, and they Pearl Harbored the Avengers headquarters, brother. This was like the Mandarin attacking Tony in Iron Man 3, The Mansion, but times 10, bro. They destroyed the entire thing in one shot.
And I guess that's a running joke, bro. No matter where they set their headquarters, it always gets blown to shit, bro.
I love that. And and so what happens is the whole place comes down. Hulk is like stuck underground, and like Ant-Man's there, and they're scrambling. Freaking
Rocket's the one that's really almost dead. I thought it was like, I got worried for him for a minute because he's stuck underneath that rubble and he can't get up into
Bradley Cooper, bro. Star is Gigi's favorite movie, bro. I know a lot of women like that movie, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. But I heard it is a good movie. So okay, so I'm sorry, so I'm off track. So they go back so now we have the final battle kicks in. So Thanos comes down with that awesome blue like teleporter thing. And he's just there, and he puts down his sword, and he tells Nebula to find the gauntlet. What are you going to do? I'm going to wait. That was so alpha, bro. He's like, I'm going to wait, because these guys are going to want to fight, and I want to fight. And then all three of them show up, and Thor's like, what's he? He's just sitting there, just waiting.
But to be fair, he had a big-ass army, bro. And he did not know that the Avengers had their army, so he's kind of cheating in a way, too.
Yeah, but I'm going to play devil's advocate with you. When he fought the three of them, it was him by himself, bro. He was by himself taking them all on because he wanted to fight them, bro. He was
Let him have his fun.
And there were people who were like, there were some dumbass people, bro. In the future timeline, or in the past when he sees the Nebula thing, he's like, the Avengers, damn it. And like people were like, how does he know who the Avengers are? Because he saw 2012, remember, in the post-credit scene. Like people were actually wondering like, how do you know? Of course he knows who they are because he smiles.
And in Infinity War, he told us that he had been doing research on Tony Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stank. He did research. That reminds me, the Stan Lee cameo in the past, I loved it, bro, but my theater did not even know who that was. I loved it. Because that looks like how Stan Lee looked back then.
Yeah, no, it was a cool cameo, and they didn't know he was gonna die, so they probably would have done something a little more grandiose had they found out he was sick or something.
So he says, "I'm gonna destroy the universe and create a new one in my image." So now he has a real God complex. Now it's like, I'm gonna create a new universe, and
let me say this before we get going, because I'm tired about how the internet, and this really says a lot about the people on the internet. Either they're fucking around, which I hope they are, and if they're serious, I'm concerned about them. And I'm not going to get into details because it'll take too long, but the entire thing about Thanos is that he's an incredibly deranged and disturbed person, or not person, but entity, right? He's got a God complex. He's a narcissistic, personality person. But there's people that actually rationalize that what he did was logical.
No,
and again,
it was dumb.
You never know with the internet. But the thing is that, when he snapped, because people are only seeing the fact that he was trying to save resources for the population, right? But first of all, we have to see it from the perspective of somebody who's a victim. Why is he the one that has that right to do the snap, right? And that's what gives him the God complex, and that's what makes him an incredibly disturbed entity. Like he is disturbed, and you brought up a good point right now. This only put him over the fence because at this point he gives himself the authority to say, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just gonna start over. Why him? And that, to me, like he's a very horrible,
he's a great
entity, bro. And he's a good villain, a great villain, because that's how they are. But when people actually rationalize and side with him, that's what I'm thinking. Man, I hope it's just the internet having a sense of humor. But I know there's some fucking creepos out there that actually legitimately do side with him.
Yeah, and they don't understand. And there are also some dumbasses. I actually had a scientist on my channel. I did a video on my channel a while back.
And you had somebody from the Illuminati many years ago as well.
That wasn't on my channel, but yes, that did happen. But I had a real scientist, and he talked about how Thanos' plan was flawed because even doing what he did would not have fixed, world hunger or whatever the whole thing was.
The biggest plot hole is, why didn't he just snap in more resources instead of? But
he could have just created more food and everything would have been fine. No, but the idea is that we're dealing with a guy who is a narcissist who's out of his fucking mind. He did it because
insane.
He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they call him the Mad Titan, bro. He's out of his mind.
Dude, his own people fucking were scared. They fucking exiled him. His own people.
Yeah, and I love that. You really see it in this movie. This movie, I think, makes Infinity War better because of Thanos' decisions. So
the thing about this movie that he has no humanity in this movie, bro. He has a little bit of humanity in the first one because of the whole scene with Gamora and all that.
Right.
But here he has no. He's just like a vile, mean, entity, bro. That's fucking crazy.
I love it. I loved it. I love that, bro. I loved it because he's vindictive and mad that he won and got killed.
Yes, and this is what he really is.
And he was probably like, dude, leave me alone. I'm done already. Like, no, I loved it, bro. God, I want him to come back, bro. He has to come. I know you don't like people coming back, but he has to at least come back for the Deadpool Thanos movie, bro. Just for comedy, bro. They could even make a reference about how Deadpool has seen Josh Brolin before.
I mean, that would pop me. I mean, with him, he's kind of a demigod anyway, if that's the right term. So I'm okay with that. I just don't like human beings or superheroes that are like human beings coming back, because that's bullshit.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it depends, I think, the way they do it. So, okay, so the fight happens. Thor comes at him with both Mjolnir and the axe, and then drops the hammer, and then Cap gets it, which got the biggest pop in the movie theater. We knew it was going to happen because Age of Ultron teased it, and I love when Thor's like, I knew it. I love that scene, bro.
And I like how Thor stayed fat throughout the entire movie.
But he was still a badass, though. He still was the God of Thunder. The Lord of Thunder took my champion. Please find him and return. Dude, I love Jeff Goldblum, bro. I'm sorry, I love him.
The
So
Lord of Thunder.
they have the scene underground too, where Nebula from the future and Nebula from the past are like talking. And what about the fact that Nebula killed Nebula, bro? That was kind of interesting. That was like symbolic too of her shedding the past, you know?
Yeah, but it also creates one of those wacky timeline loopholes and shit, like wacky paradox loopholes.
Well, kind of, but remember, it didn't really. I guess it does, bro, because Thanos from 2014 no longer exists in 2014. So again, we have another divergent timeline. That's what happened, bro.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah, they just created another divergent timeline. So again, we talked about you and I, but we knew this, bro. When you do time travel stories, it's very, very hard. Very hard.
The thing about this to me is like, there's a demigod out there that saw this entire thing, bro,
That's
and
right.
they understand.
That's right.
Well, what's going to stop them from going after the stones now?
Not just that, but no, you're right. But also, the gods of Marvel are allowing this to happen because if you read the comics, and this is canon to the movies, they mentioned it in Doctor Strange, the Living Tribunal at one point, which is the highest god besides the one above all, had to step in and take the gauntlet away. So there are higher gods that are witnessing all this happening as it happens. Which is probably going to be a storyline for Phase 4 or Phase 5, I think. I think when we get to the Eternals movie, we're going to see a lot more of that kind of stuff. So...
Does that mean that Jeff Goldblum's going to get another payday?
I really hope so, bro. Please. I want to see him and the Collector. Collector? Gosh, you do collect a lot of things. Very impressive. That's very impressive. Neurotic Jew Jeff Goldblum, bro. Just because you can do something, science can do something, does that mean you should do it? Or whatever that line is from Jurassic Park, bro. So, okay. So... Thanos' entire army shows up, and Cap's just staring him down. Then we have little, Cap, to your left. Looks over, and out comes T'Challa, all serious, with his sister and whatnot.
The hero shot. That's what you call the hero shot.
And then out comes Falcon. Then a whole bunch of portals open up, bro. And we have all the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, other sorcerers. There was like 4 sorcerers there, bro. I don't even remember.
Well, because there is 3... Yeah, there's 3 Sanitariums, right? The one in Paris, right. New York, and there's another one I'm missing. So
Japan.
They all have to be protected.
And we have the armies of Asgard, and they had the Ravagers, bro. Why couldn't Sly get a payday here, bro? They didn't even show him.
I think
the Ravagers were there. That's what I'm saying. And Wakanda. So pretty much everybody was there, bro. And then we have the big finale, bro. I think it was up there with Return of the King. It wasn't as long as Return of the King, I don't think. But it's like that Return of the Jedi, Return of the King, like the huge final battle with millions of people sequence. And it really was like a comic book. And then we have him getting the hammer saying, Avengers, assemble. And then we have...
No, my theater popped right there, dude. That was a big line. I popped.
Yeah, they teased it for years. For years they teased that line. So tell us about your thoughts on this big finale.
Well, it worked and it didn't work.
Oh, and the Valkyrie was there too, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah, it worked. Where she got her horse from? Let's not ask that question.
Dr. Strange gave it to her.
It worked. Dwayne Johnson got and his 3 chickens a day gave it to her, bro. Oh.
You mean Hugh Jackman? With both of them.
So it worked and it didn't work for me. On one end, I love how Thanos got his one-on-one with just about all the important Avengers. Like everybody duked it out with him at least one time, one-on-one. You know, and he would just fighting them. All right.
He was such a badass, bro, because he didn't stop. He kept going. And don't forget the Captain Marvel shit, bro. Took the stone out. He headbutted her. She no-sold the thing. Well, we'll get to that later, but continue.
So that was cool, and I love how they focused on that.
And the hot potato of the gauntlet was great too, bro.
The secondary characters got the hot potato gimmick, right? Black Panther got it, Spider-Man got it.
And by the way, when he returned, that got a huge fucking pop, bro.
Well, the Spider-Man's always been over, bro. Going all the way, he's always gonna be over.
And he saved Tony, which was great.
So that was kind of cool. And I do love how like they had to disengage the rockets in the ship. So that was Captain Marvel's big moment. She fucked up.
We forgot to mention one thing, bro. Pepper as rescue dog. That was incredible, bro. So they have the scene where Iron Man and Rescue are both together fighting off the fucking... Dude, we've been waiting fucking 11 years for that, dog.
That was cool. That was really, really cool.
It was amazing fan service. Continue.
Yeah. and then the Scarlet Witch got her moment finally.
Dude, she got a great. She might be more powerful than Captain Marvel with the shit she was doing. She took it to this motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, she was pissed, and she came down and she was fucking. Now, one thing that they did try to do, and it was in passing, is they did try to explain what you went through while you were in that I guess sleep state, right? Because they had Peter Parker kind of explain what happened from when the snap all the way up until now, and I guess you just kind of go to sleep and then you just wake up. That's kind of what I got out. Yeah. That's kind of what I got out of it.
It was kind of biblical too. It kind of reminded me of the rapture in the Bible. You know, it's very similar.
So you really have no pain or nothing like that. You just kind of go to sleep, and then if you wake up, you wake up. If not, you just stay asleep forever. So no. But what I didn't like was that we didn't have the little moments within the battle of dialogue and character development. Now I know what people are gonna say.
We got that in Infinity War mostly.
Yeah, and I love that. But the thing is that people are going to say, well, you've had 22 movies for that. Yeah, but you haven't had 22 movies of characters from different franchises interacting with each other. Like, we didn't have, like, the Steve Rogers rocket scene in this film, like, where he wants to, where they introduce... No, the Groot Steve Rogers scene. I thought was funny. When they introduced...
They should have given us more. They had other characters there as well, bro.
Yeah, or like we didn't get like the I want that, what is it? I want that arm. That arm not for sale. Well, I'm gonna take that arm.
And Bucky didn't even do anything here, bro. He did nothing.
He didn't even get promoted to the next Captain America, which he should have, because he's a super soldier.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the comics, both Falcon and Bucky became the next Captain America. So I guess they went with Falcon this time because representation. But
is that what?
That's all I can think of. His brother Falcon was only Captain America for like a year in the comics, and they dropped it. They dropped the angle, bro.
Well, right here he's gonna be the new one, so we'll see where they go. I know he's not over enough to carry his own movie, so he's gonna have to be in somebody else's movie.
Well, he's gonna be in the TV show. Remember, they have a Bucky and Falcon TV show on Disney Plus coming up soon, and they have a Scarlet Witch Vision show. So is that gonna be, before Infinity War, or is it gonna be after and she rebuilds him? Who knows?
We'll see. They do have the Mind Stone, so they could do it.
So big ass fight. I mean, any highlights you want to talk about? Giant Man was cool.
Giant Man came out. He's no, everything you just brought up. I love Thanos when he took out the axe and the hammer at the same time.
Yep. I love when when he smashed the shield. I was popping, bro, because that's right out of the fucking comics, bro. He smashes Cap's shield into pieces.
Yeah, and then Shield freaks out over it, bro. Shield looks Cap looks at the Shield. He's like, "What the fuck? Like, what just happened here?"
Don't underestimate Thanos, brother. He took it to everybody. You know what? He went out like an alpha. We're gonna talk more about that in a minute, but he was fighting everyone, bro.
So this is what I pop in that scene, because in Infinity War, Thanos marks out over Captain America's power to withstand his fist coming down at him, right? He's like, what the fuck is this? Because he just sees a human being. And then in Endgame, Captain America kind of trips out at Thanos fucking up his shield, because that's never happened to it.
I love it, bro.
So I like how they kind of paid off of each other right there.
I love it. And I just love how he keeps hitting him. Boom, 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 boom. Like, he was such a badass, bro. Like, he was more of a badass in this film than the last one, in my opinion. Talk about Thanos.
And they recreated kind of like the fight scene of Tony Stark and Thanos in Infinity War with Captain and Thanos again, where they're going back and forth. Like you say, he's countering each other and punching, and Captain America trying to stay alive. That was awesome.
No, I love that, and I loved how. I love that, and I love how like he. Oh, I don't even know. I lost my train of thought, bro. There's too much. There's a lot to process here. There's a lot of stuff going on, dude.
But again, to nitpick within all that, we could have had an emotional scene with the Guardians reuniting, bro. We didn't even have that.
You're right. Yeah, they had no time, so they ran out of time. It was like WrestleMania, bro. They had to cut time from... Billy Kidman had to tell the Russos to cut time from this match, bro.
They could have done a lot of little things with the side characters. Now, again, they did have the emotional moment with Peter and Tony, so they blew that off. They did have Gamora and Peter Quill kind of meeting again and establishing the fact that it's not it's not the same Gamora. So that kind of is going to take us into the next film, I guess.
It could be very funny, whatever they do with that.
Yeah, they did have Black Panther being a leader, which I liked through dialogue. I mean, he was,
and I liked how Valkyrie was carrying Parker. That was cool. And I love when Captain Marvel shows up, and you knew it was her too. In the ships, the guns turn up. Like, who is that? And then she just tears apart that fucking ship, bro.
And that was good because that ship was giving them the advantage. So that was a big scene for her.
And then she went 1-on-1 with Thanos, and people thought she was gonna job him out. Nope, he pounded her, bro. Took out one of the stones in his hand, punched the fuck out of her, bro. Knocked her away. I was happy, bro. I was like, man, you ain't shit. I was like, you're
no, but you can't say that either because she was shit.
No, she was shit, but he's smart, bro. He's a smart fighter.
He had a kind of
he headbutted her and she no-sold it. Now, what I loved is when he headbutted her and she no-sold it, she didn't do that smile or ha, you can't. She just looked at him, bro. Like, that was awesome. It was like, no, I'm in fight mode right now. I'm not like, you know how in other movies she would have said like a one-liner? She didn't say shit. Now, she was focused on the fight, bro.
Then they had the SJW scene, which was whatever. It was.
It was not I thought it was fine in this movie, bro. Yeah, who's gonna clear the path? We'll do it. And then Valkyrie's like slicing up that thing with her sword. Remember that sword that they put over in Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot, bro.
But no, it was a fun, and you know another thing I liked about that scene is that it didn't go too long. It didn't go like 40 minutes. Like the Battle of New York. One of the biggest criticism was that it went like 40 minutes. This one didn't go that long.
I kind of wanted it to be honest with you.
And also like when the Superman fight that went on forever in Man of Steel, you know, and killed half of the fucking humanity.
Fuck that movie, bro. Don't bring up that DC shit in here, bro. They could make. You know what's sad is they could make a movie.
Hey, they made some good films lately.
No, that's what I'm saying. They could make, if the Russos did those movies, bro. They could have been just as good as this one.
Yeah, but they've been trying to rebound. Let's give them credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I did love how when Cap said Avengers Assemble and they all charged, how Thanos just lifted up his thing, just pointed, and then the whole army came out. That was amazing, bro. It's the biggest fight in MCU history.
But what I trip out is that from that point forward, he didn't have another line in the entire movie, right?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Thanos.
Well, what else? Yeah.
When he got
he
got the gauntlet, he says, "I am inevitable," and he snapped.
Well, that was it. And
that was it. And then Tony's like, "I got the gauntlet. I'm Iron Man." Boom, and then everybody disappears. Did you think that Did you think that was a satisfying ending to Thanos, bro, or did you think it should have been like somebody else beating him? In your opinion?
No, I thought that was perfect because it made him reflect on everything. He couldn't have had a worse comeuppance than knowing that Iron Man beat him and the Avengers beat him. Because remember, he sees human beings like animals, like insects, you know. So it's like he got humbled.
I love it. Again, Thanos, one of my favorite villain. He's always been my favorite comic book villain. Now he's even in the MCU. When he loses and he sees all his soldiers disappear. What about when he sits down? And again, this is all like really good motion capture, really good writing. He doesn't say a word. He just sits down and just accepts the fact that he failed. Like it's not like the same thing. He's not a hypocrite though, because he told him, he's like, you didn't accept the fact that you failed. He just sits down. He's like, I've lost, and he's gone, bro. That was great, dude.
And he sees all his people. Ebony Maw disappears. He sees everybody fucking vanished.
I wish Ebony Maw would have said, "I don't feel so good, Lord Thanos," and they did. That would have been great. But yeah, I actually wish that Doctor Strange would have whooped Ebony Maw's ass in this movie. But hey, it's all good.
That would have been a really inside thing for the comic book fans, which was good because they were very inside in a lot of the shit they were doing.
Oh yeah, well, like fucking Pepper Potts using Rescue and the A Squad. What about when Tony's like, "Is this the timeline where we win?" And then Strange is like, "If I told you, it might not happen." Remember that whole thing? He knew he was gonna die, dog.
From the very beginning. And that's why it goes all the way back to the beginning of Infinity War, where Doctor Strange tells Iron Man, he's like, if you or the kid are dying, I'm still not gonna give up the Time Stone. That's what he told them.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, I'm not gonna give up the Time Stone, even if you or the kid are gonna die, because he had to protect. Remember when they're in the ship going to Titan, and
and then later on he does give it up because he realized that he had to live in order to die later.
That's right. So when they were going to Titan, Doctor Strange wanted to turn the ship around and go home, and Iron Man was like, "No, let's go to Titan and just fight this guy because he doesn't know we're coming." And he convinced them. And then Doctor Strange is like, "Okay, but if it's between the stone and you and the kid, I'm not gonna protect you guys."
And then when he has a vision in the future, then he realizes that what actually was gonna happen.
Yes, and then the just to seal that home, right before Tony throws the snap, he looks at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange does the number one sign. Like, this is it. This is the only one that's gonna. You have to snap those fingers because this is the only outcome where we win. And then that's when he realizes it and he snaps them, and then he dies. But one of the things that I like about Tony Stark's death is that it wasn't overly dramatic. We didn't have fucking Pepper out there screaming and hollering. It was very somber. It was very somber.
It was great because they had Cap, then they had Peter, then Pepper, and then Pepper. And I love how she told him. She goes, "We're gonna be fine. You can rest." That really. That
was it, and that was it.
That hit me. That hit me, bro. It wasn't like, please don't go. It was like, you can rest now. Damn.
And also because
damn.
And also there wasn't this big like cartoony monologue by Tony Stark. He didn't say anything. He just died. He was breathing, and that was it. He was slowly dying. He realized what happened.
Did you think he was going to survive? Did you think they were going to like have him in the hospital or something like that, or have somebody heal him?
I mean, it is a Hollywood movie, so that was a possibility. But I knew what I had, the 2 hours and 50-minute ride that I had just taken. They had breaking so many of the traditional Hollywood rules that I was like, you know what, this guy's not. He's a goner. And sure enough, there he was.
Couldn't they have just used the time stone to reverse time and bring him back somehow? There's probably a way they could have done that.
Yeah, but he was wearing it. I don't know, bro. Don't make me think about this time shit, bro, because I'm gonna have a headache.
Yep. So they had the funeral, which was really sad. They show everybody.
That was another thing. The film had about another 20 minutes after the battle ended, which was weird. They closed
out all the angles, bro. That Thor gave Asgard to Valkyrie. She's the queen now.
And it wasn't as fast as Revenge of the Sith, bro. Remember Revenge of the Sith? The last 5 minutes they closed everything out, and it was wacky.
It was super fast, but also it wasn't as slow as Return of the King, which had about 20 different endings, bro. The Hobbits running in there with they made fun of it in Clerks too, bro. Just watch that movie. But and what about the scene with the hamburgers, bro? Like, that was sad, bro. When he's like, I want hamburgers, and he's, I'll get you all the hamburgers you want from Favreau.
And that's a throwback to when Iron Man left the cave, and he asked for all the cheeseburgers. Yeah. Remember when he left the cave in Iron Man 1?
Yeah. Yep.
So, because he's like, your daddy loved cheeseburgers.
So Thor joins the Guardians, the Asgardians of the Galaxy, and I love how he's, I can't wait for Guardians 3, bro. I'm hyped for that movie. That's the one I'm really looking forward to, because they're fighting over who's going to be the leader, and now Thor is not a hunk. He's all fat still, and that's going to lead to more comedy, because fat people are funnier than skinny people.
And then Dave Bautista is going to be able to clown both of them now.
I know, bro. If he brings the nose ring into the movie, he's going to pop me. So... then they have the scene where they go back in time to fix it, and Cap goes with Peggy Carter, and he gives the shield to Sam, and that's it. We have the end of our story. And I was very sad, very emotional, and when they showed the credits, bro, I actually left. I did not see them, but I heard when they showed Robert Downey Jr. with his signature, bro, that people pop, bro, that big.
Yeah, he got the biggest pop.
He was the last one.
So it's funny because you stayed for when they showed all the B team, right?
No, I left. I didn't see any of the credits. When I see it again, I'm gonna stay.
Okay. So the Avengers, the six original Avengers got the starting billing, which is good because they were the majority of the movie.
Well, yeah, they were the core of the story. Yeah.
It's interesting that Paul Rudd, the Ant-Man, was able to kind of be in there with them, even though he wasn't an original Avenger. Because
he was in the comics. Maybe that's why.
Well, no, because Kevin Feige has always said that his conversation with Edgar Wright was what gave him the idea for all this, and they were talking about Ant-Man.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
So back in 2007, he had a conversation, or 2006 it was, he had a conversation with Edgar Wright, and they were talking about this idea, and it was all about Ant-Man kind of uniting the Avengers, and then, it changed, of course.
It was supposed to be Hank Pym. Yeah.
Edgar Wright didn't even end up sticking around. So that's probably why, for the creators, Ant-Man is special because he was kind of like the glue that started all this, that conversation and all that, and getting that going on. So
they did have some cool scenes with him and Wasp. It was only for a couple seconds though.
He did kind of go into the background big time with the second half of the movie, but that's understandable because there was more heroes that were going to come to the forefront. So, yeah. But yeah, I noticed that him and Bruce Banner were the ones that really kind of disappeared there in the last.
There was also an Easter egg where they showed when they went to the past and Hank Pym, they had the original Ant-Man helmet, brother. That was cool, bro. They had the original Ant-Man helmet.
The one that's shaped like an ant head.
The one from the comics, yeah, that's fucking awesome, bro. I thought that was fucking awesome.
I thought he was already wearing the helmet with that hair, bro.
Brother, all I know is
My question is, well, how come they didn't show a young Larry Fishburne right there as his partner?
They should have done that. Well, I was hoping for another young Kirk Douglas, bro. I like how we saw Big Trouble in Little China in Guardians 2, bro.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, you mean? Yeah.
Let's say Kurt Russell, yeah.
I said Kurt Douglas.
Oh, I meant to say Kurt Russell. Yeah, not Michael Douglas's dad. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah. So that's the end of Phase 3, the end of the Infinity Saga. Where do we go from here? I mean,
people are saying that Homecoming is the end of Phase 3. Is that true?
Okay. On Wikipedia, you mean Far From Home?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
On Wikipedia, they now have moved it to where it's listed as being part of Phase 3. But as far as I know, I don't think that's the case. I think that's going to be Phase 4 because it doesn't make sense that be Phase 3 if this is the finality of the arc, bro. The arc is over, bro. The Infinity Stones are gone. Thanos is gone. Iron Man's gone. Cap is gone. Natasha's gone. It's done.
Not if they introduce the big new baddie that's gonna be not the fucking monster of the week baddie that's gonna be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, but they didn't introduce Thanos until Avengers 1.
That is true, huh? Okay, well you're right. Who knows, bro? I'll be there fucking opening weekend for Spider-Man anyway.
It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm gonna be pissed if they actually make that one the end of Phase 3 because it's bullshit, bro. Like it should be this movie. This movie has a perfect way to close out everything. This movie closes out all the angles, bro. And
I love how this was a finality, bro. I love how they didn't chicken out. The suits didn't tell them, "Hey, leave some threads." So this is a finale. Of course,
they have the Thor stuff is still kind of open, you know.
Yeah, and then also the Russos, they only have power over this. They can't control whatever fucking the suits and the lawyers come up with later for Disney. But as of right now, this is a finality. This is a stamp. It's over. Now we're gonna begin a new era with new heroes and new villains.
Bro. It's gonna be like the Raw after Survivor Series, bro.
So that means that Far From Home is gonna be the Raw after Survivor Series.
That's what I said. It's gonna be the April 4th, 2000 Nitro, bro.
The one we never covered that we was thinking we're gonna cover.
We will cover it someday. But the Russos did say. And by the way, what about Joe Russo playing the gay depressed guy in the? We didn't even talk about that scene.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had a cameo.
So. The Russos are going to be doing other movies, other projects. They say they're done for the foreseeable future, but I think they'll be back. I think after seeing this film, if they do Secret Wars, I think the Russos could do it. I think they can definitely do Secret Wars.
You know what's weird is that for a long time we kind of connected Josh Whedon with the Avengers. Now nobody even connects that anymore.
He did do the first 2 films, and he should be respected for that, bro.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we used to think that was his franchise, you know, and now the Russos kind of took it over.
I mean, it's really Kevin Feige's, but do you think he'll be back?
Josh, maybe, but right now he's busy with DC. He's doing work for them.
I thought he was done with DC though. I thought he was only did Justice League and that was it. That's what I heard.
Who knows, bro? But he had
sniper, bro.
You gotta remember he had a bad experience on Avengers 2, so
that kind of soured. But he had a bad experience on Justice League as well. Okay, so apparently I'm looking right here that he's writing. I just looked it up. He's writing a historical horror film during World War II, so that's his next project.
Well, that's good because anything that has to do with horror, I'm in.
With Joss Whedon, I guess. I mean,
he did
Cabin in the Woods too, so that's a good one. He co-wrote it, so I mean, does that count?
So yeah, no, that counts.
So. Overall, bro, people are saying this is the best movie ever. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's not the best movie. Relax.
Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction is always going to be the best movie of all time. But
that's for me and you, all right?
Citizen Kane. Now, if they do Citizen Kane the Conqueror, that's going to pop me, bro.
The thing about putting something the best, to me, you have to bring something new. You have to revolutionize the entire platform of cinema. Now, this MCU did that. Don't get me wrong, but this film didn't do that. So no, that's hyperbole, bro. Like Citizen Kane revolutionized cinema. It created new ways to tell a story. This movie did not do that, or you know, even like Pulp Fiction, which is my favorite movie of all time, and that one created an entire genre of films.
Yeah, but these movies did revolutionize cinema without question. This is a good way to close it.
But not this particular. You can't isolate Endgame.
No, but if this movie was trash and they didn't finish it off right, it would have tainted the entire thing. And you know I'm right about that. They had to finish strong.
But here's my concern, that they could still fuck this up, because if they do something in the future that impacts this film, it could like negate it, you know.
Possibly, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that and say at
It's,
least
it's like the Last Jedi. Like the Last Jedi kind of affects Force Awakens. It
Yeah.
makes Force Awakens a lesser film.
Yes, but in your head, you can erase Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and just say the original trilogy is all that matters. And same thing with these films. If Phase 4 blows shit, if it blows chunks, Phase 5 sucks dick, at the very least, we can say that the Infinity Saga was a success despite having 2 or 3 bad movies.
And also, a lot of people are saying that, well, not a lot of people. I heard a couple people say this, that Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame are like the greatest trilogy ever, because they do see it as a trilogy, even though Ant-Man and the Wasp is there between that. But
I don't see this trilogy. That's very flawed thinking, in my opinion.
But keep in mind that they all happen in simultaneous, like they're all back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the Hulk arc is there, the Thor arc is there, but I don't see those as trilogy at all, because they're different stories, different narratives, different characters. I completely disagree with that. At the same time, I don't think Avengers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the greatest saga ever. I think the entire MCU should be looked at. It's 22 movies, bro. You said Star Wars has 8, Rocky has 8, Harry Potter has 8. James,
I like how you always throw Rocky in there, and you're like the only person that
Double G does too, bro. Come on. Now, how many
Rocky, bro.
How many James Bond movies are there, bro?
But James Bond is not a continuing story. It's literally a Monster of the Week kind of story.
I know, but I meant like overall franchises. Like,
there's 26 films.
Okay, so yeah, they haven't caught up to that yet, but they will soon. They will soon, bro. So, any favorite moments? Anything you want to talk about before we get out of here, bro?
Well, I'm gonna see it again.
Me
so,
too.
Right now everything is still kind of I'm still kind of breaking it down in my head, to be honest with you, and just seeing Thanos fight all the superheroes was really fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like one by one, bro. They just fucked them up, and just winning and
I am worried though that this film and Infinity War set the bar too high, and that's gonna be it's gonna be very hard to come close to this again for a while.
We are kind of gonna come back down to reality with Far From Home, because that has Monster of the Week written all over it.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that, because I found out today that Michael Keaton's back in that movie, bro, even if it's just for a cameo, and I have a big smile on my face. So I'm okay with that one. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, because I think they're starting the Sinister Six arc with him, right? With Spider-Man?
Possibly. That's what they were going to do for Amazing, but the contract ends after that movie, though. The Sony contract is over, so they're going to have to create a new contract.
Because they also introduced Scorpion and the Vulture in the first one.
Yep.
So now they got to introduce...
they got Mysterio, but he's not really part of this. I heard that he might be a babyface in this movie, too, I heard.
Yeah, and Hydro.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Hydro Man. I'm probably going to watch the trailer again because I haven't seen it in a while and kind of see if I pick up on new things. We do know that Sam Jackson, who, by the way, remember they originally said he had like a 4-film contract. He got extended like a month. Bro, he got more extensions than Brock Lesnar's contract did, bro.
Yeah, but he did sit out a couple of them because they wrote him out for a long time, and then he came back.
But I mean, he's gonna probably be the mentor for Spider-Man in the upcoming film, so that's gonna be interesting.
But they went back to that dumb shit they did with Ray and Paul Dameron, bro. Where like, what's his name? Nick Fury's right there in the funeral of Tony Stark, and so is Peter Parker. And then in the trailer, it's like, nice to finally meet you. Like, you met him in the fucking funeral.
You're right.
Unless you ignore them the whole time.
No. You know what it could be? It could be trailer fuckery, bro. That scene might not even be in the movie. That could just be to fuck with us before this movie came out. Because if they
that's
yeah,
you're right.
No, that's exactly what it is.
They're doing that more and more, bro, and that's bullshit.
No, dude, remember the trailer for this movie? How they showed Natasha in the gun range? That scene was not in the movie, bro.
But that could have been a deleted scene.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it was. But what about the Hulk in Wakanda? That was not in Infinity War.
No, that was trailer fuckery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's total trailer fuckery. Has to be.
Have you gone back to see the trailer to see any scenes that were taken out?
No,
I remember most of them.
No, yeah, most of them were in. But remember, when they showed all the Avengers walking in the suits, they did not have Thor or Hulk there. That was pretty clever, bro.
And they didn't have Hulk wasn't there. Yeah, you said it.
Yeah,
right
Hulk
there,
and Thor, both of them, they weren't there. They would have shown Thor being disheveled. They would have shown Hulk. So, because we weren't supposed to know about the 5-year time skip. I heard there was a time skip. I didn't know it was gonna be 5 years.
No, it came to me somehow. Maybe you told me. Somebody, the 5-year thing was around for almost since the beginning.
It must have been a rumor that I forgot about.
Too bad Peter Dinklage didn't get another payday, bro.
I know. But you know what? He's in X-Men, and he's in fucking this franchise now. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna suck. You know what's gonna suck, bro? The fact that when we get to the X-Men in the MCU, like they're gonna like. All right, I love Patrick Stewart and I like Ian McKellen and I love James McAvoy and I love Michael Fassbender. They're gonna have to recast them again, bro.
Unless they decide to say fuck it and just offer these guys new contracts.
All I can think of is when Cap went back to the past, he fucked up, created a new timeline, and that new timeline is the X-Men timeline. But the problem is that now with the X-Men Fox timeline, there's two timelines there because you got two Phoenix sagas, bro. Time travel, damn it, no!
And they both they didn't get it right either time, so,
bro. I mean, the only people who got it right was the animated series and of course the original comics. That's the only Phoenix saga we've seen that's actually pretty good.
Well, the animated series has gone down in history as one of the best like animated series of all time, right? That X-Men show.
First 4 seasons. Then season 5 is trash, but yeah, it is really great. Very adult for its time, bro. You should buy it.
Yeah, because that's where I fell in love with Morph, which was created for the cartoon.
Morph is great, yeah, and you see a lot of great. Apocalypse is way better there.
You're right, though, because he had I remember he had a very adult storyline, right? Because they left him behind, and then he came back for revenge.
Yeah, he came back for revenge. They left him behind. Sinister found him and turned him into evil, and then he became a babyface again. But then he went to exile. That was good stuff, bro.
Anyway, let's get out of here, man. It was a great time. Avengers Endgame.
We'll be talking about this one for a while.
I revisited all 22 films. I was one of the guys. I didn't do it. Let's put over Mark the Mark, bro, because he went to the marathon.
I don't know. I would not have done that because I would have been tired as hell before Endgame, and I wanted to be fresh as a daisy, like Bam Bam Bagalow. For this.
But that was cool because when he ended up going to the marathon and he put up a picture and there was a lot of people there. I didn't think a lot of people would want to do that, but there was, and it was all kinds of different age brackets too. So we can't say it was a bunch of like fat nerds, and there was women there too. So that was pretty cool. And also throughout the night, bro, they were giving them like free swag. Like they give them T-shirts and like little wipies and shit like that.
He always does the gimmick where he watches marathons, but I feel like 22 is too much, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's an experience, though. It is an experience. I would have liked to done it if I had the time. You know, that would have been cool.
What I want them to do is, I don't know if you know about this, but they're actually putting the Batman films back in theaters next month. Batman, the original 4, Batman Returns, Forever, and then Rob. I might go do that one, bro.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
It's not at the same time though. It's every week they would put a new one out in theaters.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a marathon.
No, I don't think so. But they might have some marathon show.
No, they did the they're gonna do the Christopher Nolan marathon. I think next month.
Yeah, but they did that a bunch of times though. Like they've done.
That's kind of cool because that's one big story. So that would be pretty cool to see it like that.
Okay, here it is. Batman 89 30th anniversary Fathom events. Yeah, that's coming up, bro. A big screen, but I don't want to have to pay an extra ticket for that though. You know what I'm saying? Saving Private.
Listen to you now, bro. Jesus.
No, I already have, bro. I got the AMC gimmick, bro. I don't want to fucking have to pay for that again.
Listen to you now, God.
Canelo and Jacobs, True Grit. Okay, that could be a good one. 50th anniversary. Batman Returns May 6th, bro. Why are you laughing, bro?
God damn, bro.
Forrest Gump has one coming up on June 23rd. You gonna go see that in theaters?
What is $12 out of your being separated from your life for the chance to fucking watch Batman?
Wait a minute, hold on, brother. This is the 25th anniversary of Pulp Fiction this year. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, but I've seen that movie in the big screen about 10 times.
That's not what I'm talking about. We gotta do our podcast this year, bro. We're doing 25 years of Pulp Fiction this year, bro. We've been talking about it for 5 years, bro. We gotta do it now.
Yeah, because I've never done a podcast covering that movie.
No, we're going to do multiple podcasts covering that movie. Remember, we're going to do a 6-part. Remember, we planned a 6-part series, bro. We're going to overanalyze every scene, bro. I'm not ready for it. It's going to be...
We're gonna Tony Rocky Horror, bro. How come Tony Rocky Horror didn't come out of the portal that fucking Doctor Strange
He's going to get at least 15 minutes, bro. Tony Rocky Horror. And what's crazy
half
about...
black, half Samoan.
Right? Well, they had Wong, who kind of looks like a Samoan. Benedict Wong, bro. I like how his real name is Benedict Wong, bro.
And Ned is also a Samoan.
Yeah, he is, bro. Yeah, he's like little Samoa Joe.
And it looked like he didn't disappear. He didn't turn to dust.
Yeah, but that doesn't make... How can he still be in high school if it's been 5 years? He's either dumb or he just graduated. Yeah, I'm looking right now, bro. Yep. Oh,
Add that one to the list of plot holes.
let's see if maybe I can buy the advance tickets now for this fucking Batman bullshit, bro. Okay, digital. See, it's not even in IMAX though. I wanted to see Batman in IMAX.
Well, they can't because they didn't shoot it in IMAX.
Yeah, but they can upconvert it. They're releasing the 4K version.
Oh, okay.
Like the
just buy the Blu-ray, bro, so you can watch it at your house anytime you want.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna tell you. The 4K of these 4 movies is coming out in June. The original 4 Batman movies are gonna be in 4K.
You're gonna see Jack Nicholson's fucking mug as the Joker in 4K.
And that's gonna pop me, bro. And I'm gonna see Danny DeVito.
Hey, till they get a look at me.
I'm gonna see Michelle Pfeiffer when she was hot, bro. I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
She's still hot, bro.
I love Batman Returns, bro. Have we put over that movie?
I think she went to the quantum realm as a shoot because she still looks hot.
As a shoot, bro. Did Arn Anderson go in there?
What did you say? No, I don't like that movie, bro.
What movie?
Batman Returns.
No, I love that movie, bro. I love that film. I don't know how you not like that movie.
Because it's way too cartoony for me.
Man, bro. But you like TMNT too. Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, but I like it because of Ernie Reyes Jr. That's the only reason.
But it's cartoony.
If you take Ernie Reyes Jr. out of that equation, I would have had a different opinion.
Right.
Hey guys, is this enough?
Is this enough? Did I mention I study martial arts? All right, we gotta get out of here. So thanks for watching, y'all, or thanks for listening, and we'll catch you down the road.
Bye.